Hello, everybody, and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this afternoon? We've made it. We've done it. It was a late start. We were supposed to start at 12, and then I was like, hey, I'm doing yard work, 12:30, and then I was like, it's running late, 1 p.m., and then 1 p.m. came around, and I still wasn't ready. But we are here now with the Chosen of Valhalla live stream, episode 334, the March Chosen of Valhalla live stream. So if I am a little bit out of it, as I normally am, but if I'm a little bit more out of it than usual, it is because I was running around trying to get everything ready and also get cleaned from being outside with all of the weed whacking and stuff not working and all that jazz. So before we go any further, though, please make sure if you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button, light up that fire button if you're watching over on the Odyssey fam, and also, of course, we should also be live on D Live and Twitter, but at this point, it's hard to really tell anything at this point. So I'm just happy to be live on YouTube. So anyway, we're going to go around the horn introducing everyone who is on the panel today. Might have others join us, but I do want to give a huge shout out to Rosetta Allen for not being able to join us today. She's not feeling too well, so pray for Rosetta Allen and that she feels a bit better. And she's apparently having some cat issues at home as well. So or something about ripping up the house, I think is what I saw in the chat. Something about trying to break my house. So I'm hoping that Ornery is going to stop that. Bad kitty. Anyway, we're going to go start off with the newest member of the Chosen of Valhalla. At least this is his first time. This is his second month, I believe, as a chosen level. He wasn't able to join us last month, but he is here today, and that is Matt317. Matt, how's it going, brother?
Very good, Odin. Glad to be here. Glad to be speaking with y'all lovely people.
Glad to have you here, man. You've been doing anything fun today while I was trying to get everything going?
Good stuff. Well, I guess I was. In the meantime, I was playing Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 in the interim while you were getting ready.
Okay.
So been playing that again
nice.
Was glad to get some of that in. And other than that, been doing some chores today. Was also going to be doing some yard work later today as well, breaking up some leaves, but.
And I hope I haven't ruined those plans by
No,
delay. I'm sure that you are just raring to get to those leaves.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I'll keep occupied listening to replay of FNT and also
nice.
some Tolkien. Been listening to the Children of Horin.
Ooh, okay, all
played
right.
by the great Christopher Lee.
Yes, that's right. I forgot he did some voice work for it. Was that the only one he did voice work for?
Don't know.
Okay,
I'll have to see.
Yeah, I know that he. Because I remember hearing about that one and saying, "Oh, I bet that sounds amazing with Christopher Lee's voice." Well, Matt, thank you for joining us today.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are also joined today by the Empress of the Universe. She's making fun of me in the chat as always. Tina, how's it going?
I am doing well, and you're raking leaves. We've got a cold front moving in tonight. It's going to get down to like 25. So,
oh goodness,
spring's not quite here. So I don't know if anyone is in the chat yet that was around yesterday evening, and I may have to repeat it. If you were, I want to thank you so much for dropping by Stephanie and mine's test stream last night.
Oh my goodness, I missed it.
You didn't tell me about this stream.
We didn't know we were going to do it. It was a test stream. So
betrayed.
We had 10 people showed up. So we still need to tweak a lot of stuff. And last night it was mainly just me and her rambling, but the 10 people who showed up, including author Stephen Walton, Culture Casino, Soul Assassin, Adam Shawshank, Adam, Alex was there for a while. But we just kind of rambled and we were like, look, this is not official. We're still fooling around with stuff. And I couldn't get Stephanie invited. So she was on her cell phone and I had my cell phone speaker held up to my mic so that everybody could hear her. And people were like, she sounds like she's in a well. I said, well, it's her cell phone to my speaker to my mic. So we were on for over an hour.
Oh my goodness. I am
And
betrayed that you did not tell me
Nice.
about this.
we had no idea because Stephanie, it's been a rough week for her. A very dear friend, they had taken her back to Oklahoma and she passed away Sunday night. And yeah, there's G Monkey. He was in the stream. Thank you so much. But they had the memorial service. They brought her back to Stephanie's area for, I think, the cremation and the service. And so Stephanie was feeling kind of down, and we were like, let's do another test stream for maybe, a few minutes. And the next thing I knew, people were jumping in, and we were like, "Oh my God, we got an audience!"
Wait, did I click go live? I didn't know I click. That's what it feels like in the beginning, like because you're like, oh, okay, I see all these people. They know exactly what they're doing. Okay,
Yes.
let me get this set up, and all of a sudden you're like,
Yes.
oh, there's a person. They can hear me. What's going on?
It was so much fun. So we're going to do a few more test streams before we go official, but everybody kind of knew that. And we were like, yeah, just ask us questions. So they were asking, what's your favorite color? What do you like to drink? So
Very pressing questions, of course.
Yeah.
Only the-
So it was fun. And Stephen Walton said, yeah, I'm tweeting you all out. And we were like, oh my gosh, don't do that. This is just a test. So, but it was great. It made both of us feel really good. And we have no idea how they found out we were there. So
The fact that you made it work with her on the phone and her sounding like she was in a well, that's a good start. When you can have an
Yeah.
audience and retain an audience even with Stephanie in a well, I think that is it's an early good positive sign.
so it was fun. And like I said, I don't know if anyone else that was on last night, if they'll jump in today, but I just wanted to thank them for hanging out with us and making it all fun. And they just got to hear how me and Stephanie talk when we're on the phone with each other, and which sometimes is very dangerous. So anyway, I'm just going to knock this out real quick. You know how I am, but hey, Andrew, we had 3 major deaths over the last month or so, and I hardly heard anybody talk about them. One person I did hear get brought up on World Class, and I was like, thank you so much for mentioning him. But real quick, I'm going to mess this up. Akira Takarada. He was 87. He was in the very first Godzilla movie, and Godzilla will be the longest running franchise next year. It'll be 70.
Who was he in that?
He played the sailor that tells them about the ship being attacked. I think he was the lone survivor. He was also in Mothra versus Godzilla, Invasion of the Astro Monster, which I think I've seen, Ibara, Horror of the Deep. Those are all considered part of the Toho verse.
Yes.
He was also in the 92 Godzilla versus Mothra, the 2004 Final Wars, which I've got to see because it looks crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And his scenes were cut from the 2014 Godzilla because they wanted to jump right into the action, but he was supposed to be playing an immigration officer. So maybe in his honor, they'll say, hey, here's his deleted scenes. I don't know. But Dangerville, one of the kaiju channels I listened to, made the announcement, and they said they got to meet him a few years ago at a Godzilla con and said he was very nice, a wonderful gentleman, so he'll be greatly missed. The one that World Class mentioned was Alan Ladd Jr., who was the son of Hollywood legend Alan Ladd. They didn't have much of a connection, his father and son. But Alan Ladd Jr., when he was the head of Fox's film division, he greenlit this little movie called Star Wars. And he went to the Fox president, whose name was, Gordon Stolberg, and said, hey, George Lucas has this idea for this little space movie. And Stolberg was like, okay, yeah, let's go for it. Stolberg and Ladd supported Lucas the whole time. There were a few times when the Fox committee was getting ready to shut it down. They were like, this movie's not going to make any money. What the heck is it about? This is really stupid. We want to close it down. But the two of them were the ones that were like, no, it's something kind of special about it. Let's just go ahead. We won't pump a lot of money into it. We'll see what happens. When Ladd saw the reaction at the Star Wars premiere, the audience reaction, he cried because he was like, we're on to something. So he also greenlit Alien, the first one. He started his own production company, which I knew very well. It was called the Ladd Company. They released Outland, which was the Sean Connery crazy sci-fi movie. Mm-hmm. Night Shift, which I think is Michael Keaton's first movie. He did it with Henry Winkler. They work in a morgue. And then they start running a call service. They did Police Academy, Gone Baby Gone, Chariots of Fire, which won an Oscar. And he was also responsible for Blade Runner and one of my favorite movies, The Right Stuff. Mm-hmm. When the Ladd Company merged with Paramount, they released Braveheart. He went to work for MGM and did Moonstruck, A Fish Called Wanda, and Thelma and Louise. All of those are Oscar winners. So when I heard he had passed away, I was like, that's a true legend there, because had it not been for him, there probably wouldn't be a Star Wars, because I don't think any other studio would have picked it up. And the other death that we had, this one hit me really hard because he was a favorite of my mom's, and I actually cried and I don't cry over celebrities, but that was William Hurt. Mm. And I heard so many people saying Marvel actor William Hurt, and I'm like, he had a freaking career before
much longer
the MCU. Did you all not see Altered States? Did you not see Body Heat, which was what made him a star? Him and Kathleen Turner. Did they not see? Oh my gosh, I'm good. I forgot it. The one where they were all college students back during the '60s, and their buddy commits suicide, and they all get together for his funeral. But Jeff Goldblum's in it. Kevin Kline.
Familiar. I don't know why I don't know.
The Big Chill. The Big Chill.
Okay.
Yeah, and the corpse when they show him, he's being dressed. That's the opening, the very opening, while they're playing. I heard it through the grapevine, and you see this. You don't know. You think it's a man that's getting dressed, and then you find out it's the corpse. That was Kevin Costner. So yeah, I didn't
hear. You're right. I didn't hear as much about, because I remember seeing it, and I think the reason why I typically don't, and I think that they all know this about me. Like, I typically don't, make videos about when that, because I always feel like I'm in a way I don't want to ever be perceived as like trying to monetize like the death of someone. Like, so I've always tried to avoid putting it into titles and putting it into stuff like that. I'll mention it obviously when it happens, and obviously people in the chat mention it too. And I think that's worthy because, obviously they, all people deserve our prayers especially. But yeah, you're correct. I didn't hear a lot about that one when it happened. And I think, and I'm sad to say, based on everything you've just said, I'm sad to say that there's really only a couple of films that I think I really have ever seen him in. So I probably haven't seen him in some of his most classic roles.
When he was in Ridley Scott's Robin Hood, which I went to see because of Russell Crowe, William Hurt was the best thing in the whole movie, and he wasn't a major character. He was playing a real character. Oh gosh, William.
I don't know. This is
Marshall,
not correct. Okay.
William Marshall.
I was going to say William the Conqueror. I'm like, I know that's not correct, but that's the only historical William that I'm aware of.
William Marshall, who is considered the greatest knight, and I think he served under like 5 kings. Very noble. And when William Hurt popped up, I was like, oh my God, that's William Hurt in this. But yeah, I just want to, I don't know why it hit me so hard. And Stephanie said he didn't take any medications to cut his pain at the end. And I don't cry over celebrities, but I was like, that hit me because me and my mom sat through so many of his movies, and we just enjoyed him. One of his best roles, he won the Oscar for it, Kiss of the Spider Woman. He played a gay man who had been thrown into prison for being gay, and his cell, he ends up getting a companion who was a political prisoner who was played by Raul Julia.
Oh my goodness, Raul Julia. Oh my.
Raul Julia. And that's the movie, when everybody talks about Raul Julia in the Addams Family, I'm always like, Kiss the Spider Woman. That's what I mumble under my breath. And they were both wonderful in it. And William Hurt deserved his Oscar. And that's probably one of those, they'd be like, well, he wasn't gay, so why would he be able to play gay? Well, he played it beautifully.
And that's where, I mentioned this in my recent video, right? Sir Ian McKellen would come in and just say, okay, shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, acting is pretending.
It's
if you've never seen his clip from Extras, I highly recommend it. It's beautiful.
Well, it was beautiful. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. That's my intro. I just wanted to pay my respects to
absolutely
those three, and especially to Alan Ladd Jr. We have Star Wars, to thank him for, and William Hurt. So there.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, because the other two names, especially William Hurt, was the only one that I knew really much anything about. And again, as I said, I'm sad to say that I don't know much about his filmography. I want to say was he in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
I know Gary Oldman is.
Yeah. I don't know why that's the film that's coming up in my head. Maybe he wasn't, but there's like one film where it's popping into my head, and I just remember it not being like like the film wasn't good. It wasn't that he was bad. It was just the film wasn't good.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'll look that up at another point. But anyway, Tina, thank you, Empress of the Universe, for being here. And we are, of course, also joined by the modern Major General of the channel, Laura Shorty Story. What's going on, Shorty?
Hi, happy Saturday.
Hi.
Hi.
Not much going on here.
The gardener has come and gone.
Yes, he comes various times, so it's like a sneak attack. You never know when he's coming.
I feel like we've really matched up. It's one of those weird things where I think we're on the same. No, I'm not going to make that joke. It's not appropriate. But anyway, I feel like that we're synced. I feel like we're synced up. Let me just put it that way. I think that we're synced up because I want to say the last time we had a Chosen stream, he was also there.
Yeah, it's hopefully, when you said you were going to be late, of course the gardener was late. So I was like,
even more. We're just in sync.
What's going on?
So
the dogs are all coming here and peeking at me. They're like, "Why are you sitting in there by yourself? I think you need some company."
So basically, if anyone wants to know when the next Chosen stream is, whenever he shows up.
Unfortunately, the gardener is an every Saturday type of occurrence. So
okay. Gotcha.
There is no sleeping in this house.
Gotcha. So wait, and every Saturday the garden is like that, like plentiful in growth all year, or is it like just certain times of the year?
Oh, the yard is massive. So
wow,
it takes a lot of work. We have two dudes come.
Wow.
Yeah.
Laura's got a massive yard. You know what you could say that you could make a giant connection there. No, not where you're. I'm going with Monty Python. We could say you have huge tracts of land.
Yeah, we just redid the back too, so there's like stuff everywhere now. There's all kinds of plants and stuff growing. It needs to be trimmed and watered and taken care of. And
nice.
So yeah, it wraps all the way around the back of the house too, and then the kid has a garden on the side.
Okay. Yeah, we thought about adding in like a little like actual garden to like maybe try and grow some stuff. We've got plans, but there are always those plans where it's like, man, if only we had $1 million and we could just build. I'll give you a little insight into our dynamic. So our thought is, we have a backyard. It's not huge, it's fenced in, but it's, for me and for us, it's like, oh man, enough for the dogs to run around in, but also enough space to where if we wanted to, and there's a good chance we might if we ever get to this point where we can, we want to build 3 tiny houses in her backyard.
Cute.
And part of it is actually because we think we can actually extend it back, because behind our fence is like a lot of just like brush, and it's above a retaining wall, so that'd be like the only question is like how far back can we go because of the retaining wall, because really we're on like a hill. But it was like 3 tiny houses, like one to actually be like a legit studio for me, so like just completely made like and designed as a studio, not just as a random room where I could actually be. So me and Matt were talking beforehand about how I have nothing obviously behind me, and it's kind of a joke. And by the way, bad on me for not.
The lights aren't
this.
on.
I'm about to say this shows you how far behind I was. Let's go ahead and set that mood. There we go. For that Lent purple. So even with the Lent purple, still a barren wall behind me. But if I had this little tiny house, I could actually like design it so that it would be a great place to like, set things up in a specific way and have the Blu-ray shelf and posters and all that kind of stuff, and no, Andrew Hoyle, I know that you're either colorblind or that your monitor isn't set correctly, but it is purple. However, tomorrow is Latare Sunday, which is the midway point through Lent, and so rose, not pink, rose. Exactly, Matt knows. Rose is the color of vestments tomorrow. But what's interesting is that it's only on that Sunday. It's not on the other days of the week, which is interesting to me. But
I think
that's
Andrew
a
should get his
conversation.
eyes checked, maybe.
What was that?
Andrew might need
Andrew?
to get his eyes
Yeah,
checked.
I know. I think Andrew absolutely needs to get his eyes checked. But anyway, so Laura, anything else that you wanted to add in this intro section?
Oh, no, I'm all good here. Thank you, though.
Okay. Awesome. Very, very cool. So for all those that have been joining in while we've been introducing everybody, please make sure you smash the like button, lap the fire button on Odyssey. Boom, Eagle Rider, Rosetta Allen, our authority on colors, as she is an artist. Can't fight with an artist. All right, this is a fact. She says it's purple. Boom. There it is. So anyway, thank you all for being here. So smash the like button, light up that fire button, and let us go ahead and say hello to some people in the chat before we go around, seeing what everyone's been watching, consuming, or just things that people in the
don't like that word though, but yeah.
What was that?
I'll just don't like that word consume.
Consume.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Like an insect.
Yes.
But
Or like
feel
a
I
moist.
get what you said.
Yeah. It's this is not going to make any sense. It's the royal consume, it's not the down in the dirt consume, right? Where you're the insect, eating the dirt and pooping the dirt, right? Or like that terrible film on Disney Plus that I can't believe that I actually watched. But it's based off of a Artemis Fowl, where the guy literally eats dirt with his giant. He detaches his jaw. So for those that have never seen it before, this character, he detaches his jaw and then he's able to eat dirt like an animal. And but the dirt has to go somewhere, so he poops it out.
And this
I
is
wanna
not
know-
Earthworm Jim, right?
No, this is if only if it were
adequate,
Earth Jim. Wait, what was that, Matt?
I was saying now that you can adequately call consuming.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. But literally, comes right out of it. But yes, I think that I fall into that consumption sometimes. But yes, things that we have been watching and enjoying, things that we've been experiencing. How about that's a better word? Experience.
Experiencing.
Gladly.
Experience.
Well, I want to know what drugs Brandow and crew were, whatever, because I've only seen reviews of that movie, and somebody said, are they blackmailing Judi Dench? She did Cats, and then she did Artemis Fowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. It actually is a good question.
Top of the morning.
Oh, it's so bad. And then all I can think of, obviously, the Judi Dench as a cat. There's just so many disturbing sequences of her in that. Like this one where her leg just is, it's like, it's not her leg. And then the ending of Cats is just so cringe because literally it's cats singing about being cats.
And
All I know is that apparently Judi Dench's role was originally a male role.
Yes.
So they kind of changed that up because apparently he's a like a positive figure to the main character,
Yeah.
which I've never seen even
Yeah.
or watched cats in any form. So, but just hearing that, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Didn't want to have the positive role.
I know Brian
male role
Blessed
model.
played him apparently on stage at one point.
See, I don't like the music to Cats, but I would go see Brian Blessed in Cats.
Yes.
Just so that I could ask him afterwards when I stage door, because that's just what I do. Because let's just be honest, and I can again thank Laura for sending this still to me, and I really wish there was a place for me to put it, but you know, a little Hawkman from oh my goodness, this is my brain.
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon, thank you very much. But anyway, just so that I could have him on camera holding his action figure saying, "Dive!"
Yes.
Or at the very least, Gordon's alive!
I have sleep lost nest. I like it.
It's funny because every person I think that would come up to him would ask him for something different,
Oh,
right? So like some would go the Star Wars route, right? By the way, that was a good impersonation you just did.
Thank you.
That
Yeah.
was.
The only thing I can do from that one is
Wait a minute, that was Brian Blessed?
that was
Yes.
Brian Blessed. Yeah.
See, I've kind of shoved that movie out of my mind.
Rewatch it.
No,
Just-
no.
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I love them. I love it
Compromise.
for all the right reasons.
I know, exactly, right? You gotta love it for the memes. You gotta love
Yes.
it for
This is pod racing. Let's
Now-
try
Oh, yeah.
spinning. That might work.
no. You gotta be
I'll try
like
spinning. That's a great trick.
now this is pod
Exactly.
racing. You gotta do it with like the attitude, or it's working. It's working. And this is my once again reminder. Every time I talk about the prequels, I have to shout it out. And Laura, did you ever watch this? I know I've recommended it to you, but Annie the musical, ANI the musical about Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, actually, I watched most of it.
Yeah. I love it because it's making fun of a lot of these different elements, and there is just this great sequence where basically it's non-canon, obviously, but again, what is canon in Star Wars these days? And it's just it's
Nothing
more
by Disney.
to me, it's more canon than anything else because at least it has Mara Jade in it. Now
Amen.
it's it's a different type of Mara Jade, but I still but there's a part where he basically goes back as Darth Vader to Tatooine and enters into the Boonta Eve so that he can re-pod race. And so there's a training sequence and they're doing all of the old things. And so at one point it's just, this really big guy, very large guy who's playing Darth Vader. And he's like, it's working. And it's just now in my head, that's all I can see. But you watch it for the right, again, as Matt said, for the right reasons, the right parts. But can we at least compromise, Tina? Could you at least watch a Brian Blessed clip compilation that includes his Star Wars scenes?
Oh, yeah, that would
There
work.
we go.
And
There we go.
when Sam Jones was on Drinker's Stream, I know Brian Bless is going to be at this convention in Wales with a whole bunch of other people.
Mhm.
And Sam Jones said, be sure to ask him about when he went up Mount Rushmore. No, not Mount Rushmore. I'm sorry. The one over in Nepal. Oh my gosh. It's too early.
The
mountain
Fuka. No.
The one that's like, if you climb to the peak of it, you have made it.
Everest?
Everest.
Change.
Brian Blessed
did it.
climbed.
Really? You climbed Everest?
Yes, but he did make it to
Wow.
the top because his
Weather.
bearers or the assistants or the people he were with were like, we're tired, we want to go back down.
Yeah, how do
So
you get to that point. Like, for me, I'd be like, if I got to that point where I'm like, that, unless there is an actual, like, there's a really bad storm or it's like really dangerous conditions and the guides are like, we can't go up there, I'm going to go up there because it's like,
It can be
okay.
done, but apparently it's
Yeah.
both trading and money.
Mhm.
yes. Well, yes, Sam Jones said, yeah, if you get to talk to Brian Blessed, don't ask him about, you can, but he said, if you ask him about climbing Mount Everest, he really jumps into it because it was a great experience for him.
Oh, okay. I thought he said like he goes off on a rant about how his
No.
friends didn't let him
No.
because that'd be even better. just to hear him go like, my friends. Anyway, by the way, Andrew Hoyle reminded me. You just put it into my head, Andrew. He was like, "Oh, accents. Now I'm out." Hello there, governor. How's it going there, governor? Is this a terrible enough accent for you, governor? That's
Which
my
one?
Andrew.
Which one was the one that set him off?
He's from the UK, so any accent sets him off. Any accent sets him off. He's just being Andrew. And I would have. So I think he is signed up for next month. So I think we'll finally have him back on stream next month, because I got the notification that he became a patron, but then it's not been showing up in the actual. There he is. He's like, and I'm gone. We like to have fun with Andrew. We like to have fun with Andrew. We like to have fun with Andrew.
Maybe he found $20 on the couch or something.
Maybe.
Oh, that's worth it.
Or shingles or whatever he has over there. Pences.
Knowing Andrew, maybe it would be singles. You never know. By the way, who's got the squeaky toy?
Oh,
Sweet.
I heard that.
I heard a squeaky toy. Do you got a puppy?
I do.
Okay. Puppies are always welcome here. Puppies are
I
always
have no
welcome
puppies.
here.
Whoop.
Okay. Or is that a squeaky chair? Okay, if it's a squeaky chair, then I'm just disappointed, because I thought I heard a dog squeaking a toy.
It was a chicken.
It's not picking up.
Oh, it was a chicken? It was a squeaky chicken?
Squeak. She loves chicken.
Squeaky chicken. Ooh, squeaky chicken. All right, let's say hello to some people in the chat. We got, of course, Rosetta Allen. Again, shout out to Rosetta. Hope you feel better. Also, I think that she had mentioned it in the chat, so she wanted to rant about it. So I figured that I won't be able to rant about it, but I wanted to bring it just to people's attention, so that way you can look into it, and maybe send a complaint or something, or share the story if it's available. But this was what she said in the private chat. It says, you guys know what is going on with the Gateway Hotel in Rapid City. They made national news trying to violate native civil rights, claiming they have a right to ban us racially. They literally said you can't tell a good Indian from a bad one.
Wow.
Damn.
Yes. So I think that's worth ranting on, no matter who you are. But for those that don't know, Rosetta is native. And so, I'm sorry that you don't have a voice today to be able to rant on that. But I just wanted to share that with people. So look it up. It's called the Gateway Hotel in Rapid City. And give them a piece of your mind, people, because that's never okay. Ever. Ever. Let's see. The R says, not on time. That nerd effect. Yes, that nerdrotic effect, we could we could say. At least I try to keep up to date with, people up to date.
A wizard.
A wizard. A wizard is never. Oh, I don't have the exact line. Matt, do you have the exact line?
I don't have it down to the letter. I just
okay, yeah.
No,
a wizard is neither
green,
late nor early.
It's a nodding.
Yeah, but he presides precisely when he means to. That's what I know. And there, of course, is Tina making fun of me early on. Afternoon. Sorry for the late start, but we made it. Yes, we did. Yes, indeed, we did. Of course, we got Matt317 hanging out in the chat. What's going on, Matt? Hanging out in that chat.
I'm there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of chats.
Oh, the chats are always great, and we got some great people in the chat today.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. We got Laura in the chat as well, hanging out. We got Zacharat315. Hail to you. Let us see. Snortopoopas Cuber, what's going on? I always just love his "Hello, humans and other quitters. How's it going?" Let's see. Yes, Laura. I whacked the weeds as best I could. I did indeed. Let's see. Tina B, is that coffee?
Yes.
Okay.
Haven't hit the wine. Haven't hit the wine yet.
Oh. That's later. Harvey Weinstein, what's going on? Rob D back in the chat as well. Hail to you. Snorpipus Cuber, going back to Tina's comments. Nobody told a bear about the test stream.
Get ready to post the link.
Oh, okay. I'm excited. By the way, Tina, make sure you let me know when the next one's happening.
We never. Yes, last night was very impromptu. It was just like
Well,
One,
share the link.
I'm gonna do it. So yeah,
Yeah.
we just jump on, just look and see. But it'll be in the evenings, like when she gets off from
Whose
work.
channel have y'all decided to host on, or is it a separate channel for y'all?
We're right now we're testing off my channel, but of course Steph has her own, so we're kind of thinking we might go back and forth. But
Okay.
we're also trying to set up um, a way where we can stream directly to YouTube, like StreamYards or something like that. So
Okay.
that's why we're doing these test streams.
Okay. So what did y'all use for your first stream?
Okay, we started out with Melon, which is it's a beautiful platform.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
we think,
just
well, every time we tried to stream, everyone was saying, okay, we see your screen, but we can't hear you.
yeah.
So then we just went direct into YouTube, but of course we didn't have our pictures up or anything, and I had my camera covered, so you just kind of see this gray screen, but you can hear our voices. So.
Yeah, Melon was one of the ones I was playing around with the Chosen streams, and I remember that was the one we had a lot of issues with because of like connections and stuff. And yeah, I agree. Melon has there's so many great things going on for it. It's just the infrastructure I don't think is there. So I had some issues with it, and I've been happy with Restream. Their free option I think offers a lot. A lot of people, of course, use StreamYard. StreamYard
Right.
also, their free version offers a lot. And then, of course, if you wanted to, I could always, teach you the ways of OBS and drive you crazy with.
We don't need any more craziness. It's like we just want to plug and play or something.
Yes.
So, but I got in touch with Melon support and I did everything that they told me to. But I think G Monkey and Nathan were the first ones in the chat, and they were like, "No, we can't hear anything." So I was like, "Okay." Going direct into YouTube. So we'll keep fooling around with it.
Nice. And thank you to Laura posting Tina's channel in the chat. And also thank you, Tina, for posting the link. I'll let me open that up so I can
Subscribe
so I can bookmark that. Oh, I shouldn't have done
with
that.
the bell.
Yeah, click the bell. I was telling somebody last night. Yeah, click the bell. And I mean, it's a lot of crazy talk. There's nothing really like we're sticking to any subject because it's a test, so.
This is nothing but a test.
It's a test.
It's a test. We do have someone watching over on D Live. Philly to Hobbit Allen, thank you for the ice cream donation. I appreciate that very much. Someone I haven't seen in forever, CF Productions. What's going on, CF Productions? Welcome back to the channel, man. Glad to have you here. Andrew Hoyle, he was here at one point. I think I scared him away with my terrible accent, but hey, that's okay. He's also been calling me Mr. Hansy because there's an image that was, I think it was shown after I left Friday Night Tights, and not my favorite. There's a really cool one though that's based in a Western. I don't know if they showed that one. But there's a Western, like wild and nerdy one, and that one is phenomenal. It is fantastic. They made me into a preacher, and it's pretty great. By the way, prayers to Rosetta Eagle Rider, to her father, praying for her health and for because obviously for her health, because I think she's also still dealing with the leg. So also praying for her dad as well. Luca, what's going on, my Catholic brother? How's it going, good sir? We also got Rosie G12. What's going on, Rosie? How's it going? Thank you for being here. Segev Segal is in the chat as well. Let us see. Bryant Barth also here. And let me try and see if I can get some last shout-outs. Fuzz Aldrin here. What's going on, man? Geek True 64. Gary, Banjo Sandwich Worthington. Always a fun name to say. Luca was calling me out for not having the purple. So I fixed it. Don't worry. Let's see. Who else joined into the chat? Let's see. Gary had said, I'm in love with the new Apple TV series Pachinko in Korean and Japanese. Oh, interesting. It's in both languages. I do still have a free trial, so I might have to check that out. Interesting. Typically things, I assume then it would have... I wonder, that's a question though, is it being produced by South South Korea or by Japan. And either way, I think that you're probably safe because films, for the most part, coming from them seem to be pretty good. Luca also mentioned the point Deuteronomy is a Christ-like figure. Yeah, I will say, though, the show is so bizarre, though, that even though we can find those symbolic characters, it's like, man. Phaser 1 times, yes. Yippee! That's why you love the prequels. It's the memes. You love them for the memes because they're fun. Andrew Hoyle also mentioned Brian Blessed best role was King Richard IV, the Black Adder.
That's such a great show.
I still haven't seen it, so I'll have to check that out because Brian Blessed's in it.
Rowan Atkinson. He's only in the first season, but Rowan Atkinson is just brilliant.
Oh, Rowan Atkinson's in it? Okay. That's
yeah,
great too.
He's Blackadder, and they do several different generations of his character. Okay. But he's still usually the same slimy character. So.
Yeah. Cold Pyre in the chat as well. Luca saying, for all my fellow Americans in reference to the Supreme Court confirmation hearings, quid est mulier nescio non sum biologus? I think that's saying, what is woman?
I was wondering where all that.
Yeah, okay, I get it now. Yeah, that's Latin. It's what is woman? And then it says, I don't know, I am not a biologist. Kudos to you for getting that into Latin, man. It's always impressive when modern stuff can be translated into a dead language. So that's awesome.
Very nice.
Yes, very well. Very, very well done. Very, very well done. Jacob Ironside, welcome to the chat as well. And let's see, Quatrina VR in the chat. And there we go. Soul Assassin, boom, there it is. Soul Assassin in the chat. He was one of the ones that was in your stream, Tina, right?
I'm sorry. Who was? I'm sorry.
Not paying attention.
I wasn't.
I
wasn't.
Soul Assassin.
Yes, yeah. I did thank him. Yeah.
He adds in one where I at least get the reference. Dang it, Odin, I'm a troll, not a biologist.
He wants me and Steph to do an after show for the Ravens, and I was like, she's got to work. She's got to work Monday morning, so we can't be up. Well, she can't be up too late. So
I will say that I don't know if I had mentioned it live yet, but yes, tomorrow is the Raven Awards. So as a reminder, tomorrow is the Raven Awards, and I have it to be scheduled 7 to 9. So even though we're going on at the same time, around the same time as the Oscars, we're starting beforehand, and we're not going to go on as long as the Oscars because we, unlike the Oscars, understand that people's time is precious, and also that we don't need that extra time filled with speeches and nonsense. So we'll give y'all a nice reprieve, though. And by the way, I don't know what happened overnight because I checked to see the number of votes for the Raven Awards, and it's up to 233 people voting, and it was in like 150-60 range yesterday. So Friday Night Tights crew, thank y'all so very much for that. And then Rosetta wanted to add one more thing. Says she also apparently owns Cheers in Rapid City in Foothills Inn. Dark Money is a group basically saying to break the treaty to stop all tribal funds and force natives to stay on reservations. Ew, that's not good. That is not good. So anyway, look into that story going on in Rapid City. Again, if you want to stand up to racism and discrimination, because that is never okay. As a Minnesota hockey fan enters into the chat, and I wish that I had Ricky Gervais. That's a life goal. If I could like get up to the point one year where Ricky Gervais would like do a hosting spot or something, that would be the tops, as they say. Is that what they say?
Tops.
I don't know. The tops, as they were.
Accent.
The tops, yes. Andrew Hoyle, the tops. I don't think he's listening anymore. I think he shut me out.
Are they kicking out homeless people again this year?
Oh, I would not be surprised. They're already changing their rules, with saying, at first they were going to have a mandate and then it was not a mandate. Now I think it's you have to have a negative COVID test or I guess I think it's probably you only have to have a negative COVID test if you are part of the elite. Whereas if you're one of the servants, I'm sure they'll all be masked up and everything. So.
I'll find out afterwards.
Don't
care.
Yeah, and that's something too. I'll bring that back up when we get to Tina's section because I do have a question with one of the things that she mentioned earlier. And just as I'm about to move on, massive $50 super chat coming in.
Nice.
Coming in hot from Vake. Thank you very much for that $50 super chat. Coming out of nowhere. Says here, hi, Odin. I heard last night you're watching DS9. To make viewing easier and skip the crappy episodes, I've made a list of which episodes to watch and which to skip. You'll get the entirety of the main storyline and the best of the rest. Let me know. Well, Vake, thank you. You can send that my way, just that way I can see, because I do plan to watch all the episodes. I'm kind of a completionist in that way, because even though there are likely, as you mentioned, episodes where if I miss it, I'm not going to miss any key elements. I just, again, everyone's been talking about this board game episode being terrible and that it's all uphill from there. But now it's I need to see how bad this game board episode is, because so far I haven't had any.
Even the bad ones, it still work.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a completionist as well, and even watching the bad ones, I kind of want to at least know what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
If I at least watch it once.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. To have at least an understanding
which episode you're talking about.
Exactly, especially if someone mentions it in a chat or something, and if it's episode I skip. But yeah, go ahead and send it my way. Again, social medias are all in that top link in the video description, and there's always the good old fashioned email, otismovieblog@gmail.com. And the last people to shout out before we start off with Matt sharing whatever it is that he wants to talk about. I think he said he wanted to talk about some games as well as potentially some movies and television, but gaming I think is what one of the focuses he wanted to have. And
Sure.
I want to shout out the Odyssey fam. So we do have the R says, "Hey, name, call me." That's how it was spelled, and so that's why I said it the way that I did. But he meant to say name, call me. And then Doppelgamer over there. It's a new name over there. Welcome, Doppelgamer. Says, Brian Blessed was great in the first season of Blackadder. Then again, he's great in nearly all of his roles. Yeah, I think that based on the experience I've had with his roles, that is a true statement. So with that being said, starting off with Matt 317, what have you been, as we have said is a better word, not consuming, what have you been experiencing?
Oh, yes. Well, to jump off to what you're saying about DS9, coincidentally, I had just got done watching all of DS9 myself.
Oh.
And I could easily say, I've been kind of going through all of Star Trek, and at this point, I've pretty much watched from all of TOS through the end of DS9 in its entirety, and I can say that it's definitely DS9 is one of the greatest shows out there and some of the best television I've ever watched. So, yes, you're in for a good show.
So as someone who is I consider myself to be a layperson in the Star Trek universe, because I'm starting off with DS9, out of how many iterations are there between original series? Is it original series and then it's next gen, or is there anything in between? Or
technically, there's the original series, and then if you want, there's also the animated series, which is still pretty good.
So that's like an in-between, technically?
Yes.
Okay.
And then if you want, there's Continues, which, even though it's a fan show, it's probably one of the best Star Trek shows ever, too.
And
it's
so fan-made, not official canon, but...
Right.
Okay.
And then there's the TOS movies, which are still kind of 30 years after the original series. Which
one was that?
That's, motion picture, Wrath of Khan.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, okay, that yeah. So took me a second. So the show and then you have animated series, fan series, and then the movies themselves are really a series in themselves, just in film form.
Yes.
Okay.
They revolve around the original series characters. And then Next Generation, which essentially that's its own kind of iteration as well, takes place about 100 years afterward. Though you do see some of the TOS characters show up every now and then. Well, at least Bones. You see McCoy in the first episode, but he's like really old, and because of modern medicine. And then you see Scotty come back because of a transporter accident that kept him locked in time, and then showed up in the you see Patrick, well, not James Doohan in TNG era, just as himself. But yeah, TNG is pretty much its own series as well. And then DS9 is also in the same kind of era as well.
So DS9 comes out like pretty much right after Next Gen, or is it
Sort
does
of.
Does it come out at the same time?
Well, it comes out like 1 or 2 seasons before, like TNG ends.
The end of. Okay.
Like it ran concurrently for a brief period.
Okay, yeah, because I know
it's like a spin-off.
Yeah, okay, because I know the first episode you would do from. Again, I've only just started watching it, but I think I remember seeing Borg Picard in the first episode of DS9 and such.
Best of both worlds.
Okay, yeah.
And that was the crossover with that at that point.
Okay.
And then also there was an episode of TNG where they briefly cross over, like they meet up on DS9. You see Bashir and Data interacting with each other briefly.
That sounds
and then,
like
of course, later on in DS9, Worf becomes a major main character.
I remember people mentioning that in the chat last night when I mentioned it on Friday Night Tights. People were like, "Oh yeah, Worf and Worf and Worf."
Yeah.
So. Yes,
which that also goes into the movie, like the TNG movies, which
yeah. So does DS9 well, it's the rule of the odd film, right? The odd number films are the good ones.
Not with TNG base.
Okay.
They're not bad, but they're bad, but also out of character.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So for the films, they're not the TNG films not that good, out of character. No. And then is there any DS9 stuff in those films?
No. Okay. Well, I guess the Defiant.
Yeah.
Which is like the attack ship that.
Okay.
Like it's a small attack ship that was originally created to fight the Borg, which becomes like the main ship used in the series.
Okay.
Kind of like like their own Millennium Falcon in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's briefly in First Contact, but Worf immediately essentially fouls it up and is prepared to ram it into the Borg cube. Prepare ship for ramming speed.
He says rapid speed?
Ramming speed.
Ramming
speed. Ramming.
Like Ben-Hur.
He was ready to sacrifice himself, the crew, and his ship until the generation. First Contact has a lot of problems too. So,
yeah.
Though really the only reason Worf shows up in DS9 is because, spoiler, this Enterprise D.
Is this for a spoiler for TNG?
Not really. Like it's this is from Generations.
Okay. Yeah.
Which was the first of the TNG movies.
Okay.
Which was sort of a
I don't care as much about
TNG,
spoilers from
half TOS movie.
Okay, gotcha.
Where it's the one where Kirk and Picard are together, which they did Kirk dirty.
Yes, they did.
Movie.
Yes, they did.
Don't keep it. Though I think they corrected. Shatner himself corrected the record with a book he made. I'll have to read that. But yeah,
Corrected the
that's
record,
as
you
far
say.
as
Is
all
it
I've
more
watched.
so? Is it more of like correcting the record, like just like he made a commentary on it, or
No, more like Kirk comes back, and like I guess he gives him a better send off than having a very weak fight and death at the end of the movie.
Okay, I gotcha. Nice. So DS9, out of those series, DS9 is considered by many to be one of the better ones.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as far as everything else goes, like I've watched isolated episodes of Voyager and Enterprise, and well, I liked what I saw. It was kind of hoping probably get. Well, I was getting to those eventually, but
Yeah.
at most it's pretty ranges from bad to pretty good, but
It's just all over the place.
yeah. Though on the whole, it's okay.
Okay.
The only problem is it's 7 seasons of okay.
Yeah,
So
that's a little too much. It's a little, you can have okay for so long, I feel. Which one of those is the one that features the female who is a former part of the Borg?
7 of 9. That's Voyager.
That's Voyager.
Okay, gotcha. Because that's one that my wife really likes because she loved that character because she grew up. Her dad was very big into Trek, and so she grew up loving Trek. So she's kind of like, it's funny. She grew up loving Trek, and then I grew up loving Star Wars, and so we kind of have both of those covered. So when she found out I was watching DS9, it was funny because she, I think, had just heard the music, and so like I come upstairs and she's like, "Are you watching DS9?" And I'm like, yes. And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then one day, she was like, "Hey, I watched an episode of DS9 with you." I'm like, okay. So she's a big fan, but she likes Voyager because she loved that character specifically.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Like I said, it still has some good parts to it.
yeah.
So I just think I'll take a break from Star Trek. Lately, I've
short
been
little
watching
break.
classic
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
Oh, going into Doctor Who, yeah.
Yes, starting from the very beginning.
Oh my goodness.
Beginning or new beginning?
Beginning.
That's a difficult one. I tried doing that, and then I quickly found out, oh yeah, there's episodes missing, and there's like you have to go and find it. And at that point I was like, okay, I just I'll go and start with the like the newer stuff. So before going into the Doctor Who talk, Vake sent another $20 super chat. So Vake, thank you so much, man. And I got your email. Appreciate it. And he says, very important, he says, my list, which I'll send you, is actually the best of the original series, Next Gen, and DS9 shows and movies is what I give to any friends interested in Trek. So that I'm actually interested in because I think I'm going to watch all of DS9 because I mentioned the reason why I'm watching is because I'm working with Ryan Grant and Anthony Stein, who are two Catholic commentators who are both big Trek fans too. And so we're going to be talking and breaking down the different seasons of DS9. But for those other ones, which there's a lot of stuff there, and obviously from what Matt has been saying, there's some stuff that's really not that good. That actually is going to be very useful to look at to be able to break down, especially for the movies, as what was being told about at least the TNG films. So
yeah, Glenzer just dropped a super chat.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, 264315. He's absolutely right.
As far as
yes,
the original movies.
You got Wrath of Khan, which is epic. Undiscovered Country, which I haven't seen, but I've heard it's quite good. Number 4 is
I had never heard of that one until last night.
That's the one with Christopher Plummer, I think.
Ah, okay.
Number 4, Voyage Home. That's the one with the whales. 3 is Search for Spock. Yep. That's the one with Christopher Lloyd. Number 1 is Star Trek: The Motion Picture, which I still have major issues with. Even seeing we fell asleep at the theater.
Yeah, it's slow.
In the beginning?
It tries to be 2001.
Yeah.
Was it in the beginning? Because that's when I was like, I think I did a live stream. I can't remember if I. Do y'all remember if I did a Good Morning Asgard movie stream or a movie stream of that film?
I don't
Oh,
remember it. if
I
you
don't
did it.
remember. I would remember
Okay.
that one. Yeah.
Because I feel like I was watching it with some, or maybe I did it where I was watching through the Discord, and I think some people were watching it with me. That may have been what it was.
Oh.
Because I remember being like, okay, how long is this ship being revealed? I was
Yes.
like,
Well,
no.
and
That's a great
that's
model, though.
that is a great moment though, because Kirk loves the Enterprise and Scotty really loves the Enterprise, and to see them sharing that those exterior shots, it's like, yeah, when we first saw that at the movies, we were tearing up because it's like this is a beautiful moment. Them going through V'ger, that's when everybody
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
yeah,
It
we had
also helps after having watched all of TOS, I actually found myself liking motion picture a lot more with that in mind.
oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And then number 5 is well, that's the one with Spock's brother, and
Cyborg.
Uhura does a
Fan dance.
striptease, a fan dance,
Oh, no.
It's so
and
bad, yet I
it's
love it.
so bad. But
I like it the same way I like the prequels.
yeah,
For the laughs, for the lulls.
yeah,
Some genuinely great moments mixed in with laughably bad parts that I just love out of irony.
Those
yeah.
are sometimes the best moments, though,
Yes.
as
Excuse
we
me.
talked about with the prequels,
But
right?
it's God need a starship. Jim, you don't ask the Almighty for his ID. I must have the ship to bring my wisdom to the cosmos.
That's quite
all-
good.
I love it.
Oh
That was a cheap
my
set.
god!
I haven't even seen it, but I'm like, oh, that sounds fantastic. Like,
Yes.
just as far as like a scene that I would watch where I'd be like, oh, he just said it. He just said that, and he just said it that way.
Excuse me. You did not answer his question. What does God need with a starship?
What does God need with a starship?
Which
Oh, I saw that. I kept
Spoilers,
seeing that in the
that's,
chat last night. I kept seeing that in the
Yes,
chat. And I
yes.
kept wondering. I was like, what is this talking about? Okay, that makes more sense now. I like context. You all know
yeah.
context is very important.
even the bad stuff is still worth watching for context.
Okay. Nice. So
be
you were
fun.
going to also talk about, were you going to talk about watching the Doctor Who, or were you just mentioning that that's the next thing that you were going to get in?
Oh yeah, briefly. Don't have too much to say about classic Doctor Who, though the stuff I've watched so far with William Hartnell, most of it's been pretty good actually,
Mm-hmm.
including essentially giving you context, I'd watched a good amount of the new series up to a point, but just didn't get around to watching the rest. And so I decided, okay, I've already watched a good amount of the new stuff. I want to go to the very beginning. And that's, essentially classic Who is like in like 30-minute episodes in like story arcs that are like 4 to 6 episode arcs. And essentially that's how it was back in the day. And even though like it's a very cheap TV budget with a very with like cheap sets and costumes, it was still some very intelligent writing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
found. And
Also, William Hartnell. Is
yes,
just
he's a great actor too.
Yeah.
I've liked his stuff. And especially at the end of one particular serial in season 2, the invasion of the Daleks. Like the ending to that one, that put even for a show in 1964 that aired in 1964, put a big lump in my throat because certain character has to part ways and just watching the rest of the show up to that point and mixed in with Hartnell's acting and delivery just made it all the more worth it. And so that's how I've been enjoying classic
Nice.
Doctor Who so far.
Yeah, because I've seen the first couple of episodes of the original, because as I said, it's so hard to actually watch every single
Right.
thing from the very beginning, which is why like eventually I got to a point where I couldn't find the episodes that were in order, and that bothered me. So I
Right.
ended up saying, okay. And I talked to a lot of people who were hardcore Who fans, and this is obviously before Who really went downhill. I think this is when still. This would have been when Matt Smith was still the Doctor, so a lot of people
Yes.
were still fans. And they were like, you can just actually start with Eccleston, and it's kind of like restarting over. Like, it's not like, hey, you know, they weren't saying skip all the other stuff or that the other Doctors weren't good, but they were like, as a good starting point, if you're looking to get into it, this is actually a really good starting point, since
Oh, sure.
if your goal is to watch all of the originals all the way through and you know, get up to that point, you're gonna have a lot of frustrations. As I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I can jump into this new, and then hopefully over time I can get to
The opening
originals. Yeah.
arc with the cavemen
Mm.
sort of set the stage and introduces the characters, but it was kind of an okay one. It wasn't until when we first see like immediately after that arc is the arc where we first see the Daleks, and that's where it really gets into gear.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I again, but the ones that I had seen from the originals, it was really Hartnell's acting that got me, because it was such a different style. You know, it's amazing how, and that's something that I feel like Modern Who, every time I hear someone talk about Modern Who, I feel like it's what's lost, is that there were such these unique styles and representations of the Doctor and like the different missions and the companions, and it was interesting because of those dynamics. And now that they've become so much more heavily focused on trying to do like identity politics and other things, it makes you lose part of the magic, you know?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, but that's as far as Doctor Who goes.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that I don't want to keep talking about myself, but
Yeah, no. Is there anything else that you were like, I want to talk about this?
just as far as stuff I've been watching,
Mm-hmm.
though, briefly want to go to the games.
Yeah, go ahead, man. I'm sure there's some people who are like, yes, finally, because I don't play enough games.
Oh yeah, I've been doing a lot of nothing too modern, but I've mostly been kind of rediscovering other series that I'd played in the past, but wanted to brush up again on. Like I had on my stream, I just watched not watched, but played all of the Half-Life games
Okay.
on
I think
PC.
I think I've played one of those. It was like, isn't Half-Life 2 multiplayer?
I guess I never played Half-Life 2 multiplayer. I've only played a single player.
But it has a multiplayer.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's what I've played. I played Half-Life 2 multiplayer in college. That's my only experience with Half-Life.
Oh yeah, and yeah, essentially, over the year I've played all of stuff, and not Star Trek, Half-Life from the very beginning, and concluded Half-Life 2 Episode 2, which again, another gut punch of a ending that still hasn't been followed up on 15 years. I just assumed that everything turned out well in the end.
Oh, it's one of those endings where you're like,
Yes. Yeah, I see
I
Soul
hope it turned
Assassin.
out for the best.
People make Half-Life 3 a joke and a meme, but replaying it, it's easy to remember at one point people actually really were looking forward to seeing how the story concluded. But it might not be the case, but who knows? I just assumed that things turned out well.
No, okay. So Half-Life, again, I've only ever played that multiplayer. So Half-Life is a narrative based game, and it like builds up on each other. So were there just those two? So is Half-Life 1, I guess, and then you said there's Half-Life 2, but then you said there's like an episode 2 part.
Oh yeah, there were essentially expansions to Half-Life 1.
Okay.
And then Half-Life 2 had expansion episodes released like a year or two after the original game.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially Half-Life 2 Episode 2 was the last one. There was supposed to be an Episode 3, but that sort of wound up in production hell for for years, and that's sort of why now it's become like a meme and a joke.
So do you think that there ever will be one?
Probably not.
Hmm.
They've been preoccupied doing other stuff.
Okay.
Essentially, to
What's the company that owns it?
Valve.
Okay.
See,
What
other
else
than
have
that,
they been? What else have they been working on? Like, what's been their main project that they've not worked on with
Steam,
Half-Life?
like Steam itself.
Okay, gotcha. So literally the provider of Steam. Okay, gotcha. Dang.
Yes, it's their platform.
Wow. Okay. I feel like based on, again, I don't know the games, but I feel that Half-Life is very popular. There's a very passionate, strong fan base with it. So that's odd that they would not actually try and, take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Glinzer, that's a nice one.
He says, so for $2 super chat, he says, I think Hollywood hit its Half-Life years ago. Oh, that is, yes. So let me highlight that. So beautiful Glinzer. Yes. I think that
And it's starting to deteriorate and
it's starting to now
eat itself like the elephant's foot in the basement of Chernobyl.
Oh goodness. Oh, it's time to run for cover. It's time to run for cover if you're still in Hollywood or still have any faith or trust in the Hollywood system. So other games that you've been playing and
yes, I was gonna briefly mention one other thing, and then another thing that relates to recent television. As I said, before the stream, I was replaying Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 with the cut content mod, which essentially Knights of the Old Republic, 2 of the greatest games ever. And on the side, I've been reading a whole bunch of old Star Wars comics and novels, which that's the thing about Disney Star Wars, is that I've accepted that it's long dead, but there's still a lot of really great Star Wars media that I could jump back to and just fall in love with it all over again. Oh yes.
I mean,
Stackpole's novels.
I need to the summer is going to be filled with watching this is the goal of the summer. We all know how my goals tend to go, but the goal of my summer is to read a lot. So I have a lot of religion, theological books to read, but then also to start diving further into these Star Wars EU novels as well. Cause this is a set of 9, and then apparently there was a 10th book too and everything. And as Rosie G12 just mentioned too, physical media. So very, very important for sure. So what's been some of the ones that you really enjoyed out of the ones you've been reading?
I guess lately I've just been reading Star Wars related. I've been reading I can pull off the shelf, but it's essentially the impetus to delve back into KOTOR 2 was reading an old trade of the Knights of the Old Republic comics.
Okay.
From 2007.
Okay. So did it run from 2007 to when, or was it a single run, or how did that
I'm
work?
not sure. That's
okay.
The copyright on the trade I picked up at half price.
Oh.
And believe it or not, I've been a big fan of the Old Republic storyline from all the different EU storylines, but also Old Republic was largely based on Tales of the Jedi comics from the 90s, which I had read those back in the day, trades. You remember those?
trades.
Yes.
I'm
like,
not a comics
Tales of the
person,
Jedi.
so no, yeah, because really, what I've learned from the EU has been mostly from Ryan RK Outpost. Taught me a lot early on when, like, especially when his channel first started. Like he did a lot of like EU stuff and giving recommendations. Laura, I know, has been a great resource on a lot of the EU stuff as well. I think Laura, weren't you the one that got me onto the Thrawn, the original Thrawn trilogy? I think.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. I need to add her back in. I need to add her back in. Okay, there she is.
Oh, hello.
Hello, there she is. But weren't you the one that got me onto that?
I think so. I talked about
Yeah.
it a lot when we first started.
Yeah. Because I remember like the biggest one was the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, which I still need to get all the way through. But
What?
I know. I have the audiobook still. I have it. I know. That's why I say I plan, I make plans, and then they just, but that's my ADD. I still have stacks of films where, again, this is why a mea culpa, especially to Bruce and Rosie G12. They have sent me so many movies, and I have just fallen so far behind. I plan to watch them all. I've just fallen so far behind.
And they're probably like, he watched Lady Hawk.
I'm gonna say, out of all of them, I watched Lady Hawk.
Which was just a joke, actually. It was a joke.
My mom loved Lady Hawk.
I love Lady Hawk too. I knew Odin would like it though.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. That's as far as Star Wars goes.
Yeah.
But jumping off from there back to television.
Yeah.
Which jump to a good jumping point for the rest of y'all. Also a huge Halo fan. One of at one point it was one of my all-time favorite franchises, and 15 years ago I would have loved the idea of a live-action Halo show, but I couldn't be bothered to care, and from the sound of it, I'm glad I'm not watching it.
So you have just heard about it. You have not actually watched it at all.
Well, I've watched seen like screenshots that like now, yeah, and then watch the trailer and seeing like
very, very like from afar, like
Yes.
watched it from a very far distance.
And I, as someone that longtime Halo fan, and like to say I'm knowledgeable of it, but yeah, I don't think I would like this show one bit.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I kind of want to watch it just as a non-hardcore fan of the series, because I played it I've played it a handful of times in my life in the multiplayer. I've never played the actual game, so I don't know much about the story. So I wonder how I would react to it, if it would be any different. But yeah, continue.
I was saying, just like with Gary, if that's your first introduction to Halo, I just feel bad.
Yeah.
Like,
but you can only go up from there, right?
Oh, good, at least.
So I guess it's like gotta look at the positive of it, right? It's like, well, it can only go up from there.
Like, yeah, it's like the whole. I'd have to watch it in depth to fully dissect all the things that are wrong, but I'd be wasting. I have better use of my time, and I'll just replay the games.
There you go.
Even the tie-in novels, which that's the thing about Halo, is that the games are good, but also, just like with Star Wars, there was a huge amount of like supplemental, like novels and stuff that sort of gave more context and like added on to make the story seem a little more grand and like fuller. And that's also why people are not fans of the show either.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like,
yeah.
Apparently, I remember on FNT, y'all were talking about how, like, Master Chief John 117 essentially gets dressed down, both figuratively and literally by some like a rebel leader, and so where he has to take off his helmet, which is something that never happened, and so and all because some lady was telling about how, oh, you're just a machine, or you can't think for yourself, and that got me thinking about how, because to give you context about Halo, it's essentially like a collection of a whole bunch of sci-fi tropes, including like it borrows from like Alien, Ringworld, Ender's Game, and especially RoboCop, especially with the Ender's Game bit. Like, Ender's Game?
Yes, I love
Yeah,
Ender's
essentially
Game.
the Spartans were kidnapped as kids and trained through their lives, and then genetically altered to be like super soldiers for like the Earth government
Okay.
to fight against like rebel factions in their colonies.
Okay.
And from the beginning, like in the original book Fall of Reach, we get to see the Spartans' perspective growing up from the beginning, and then going through basic, growing up together, living with being genetically altered. Half of them turned out good, half of them either died or turned out sickly, crippled because of it. But in the end, they became like buff super soldiers that were essentially used to quell like the insurrectionists. And so it was only out of good fortune, because of the invasion of the Covenant, that they became like seen as like idolized heroes, and like heroes to the people, because if they didn't show up, they'd still be fighting like human rebels. But the point being, before we got to the point where we have to berate Master Chief for being a tool of the state, we had to build him up first.
Yeah.
Like, see him as a small kid who grew up away from his family and only knew a handful of other kids on like a secret base, and then knowing nothing but like fighting and training. Like, we still saw like his perspective and the rest of his friends' perspectives too, before having him be berated by some nobody character.
Yeah. Kind of having the build, you got to build that backstory, because if, it sounds a little bit more like, I guess, what they're doing with Picard in a certain way, with it's just like tearing down his character. And even though one could argue, well, if you go back to all the other stuff that he's done, for someone new watching it, all they see is this guy being torn down, and they have no. So if you're gonna do that, you kind of need to have that basics. Like, you need to have that foundation. You need to have good storytelling, character development.
Especially since they're saying this is a whole new timeline.
Okay.
That doesn't connect any way to the games.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, because you mentioned the novel. So what came first, the novels or the games?
Well, The Fall of Reach was essentially a tie-in promo novel that came out like a week before Halo Combat Evolved.
Okay. And then someone was mentioning in the chat, I think it's Soul Assassin, that there's an animated film that's on YouTube, and I think it is The Fall of Reach, or it's...
Yes, it's like an adaptation.
Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, that's sort of what people liked about it. Like, the games themselves were great, but also there was a lot of supplemental stuff in between that also built on it. That fleshed it out more.
Okay. Kind of sounds like OG Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Except now, apparently with a lot of the later games, they became required material. Just like Disney Star Wars. Like homework.
So like in order to understand anything from like the game, you had to access the comic or the novel or whatever.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Ah,
Like characters. Oh, who's this character? Oh, you need to read this comic, or read this novel,
Cash
or
grab.
listen to this web series.
That's the worst.
To get some background that is not told in the game at all.
It reminds me of one of the worst things they ever did in the Star Wars novelizations, or in like I think it was a comic version when they were how was Rey able to beat Luke, and they talk about he slipped. So the comic shows like a panel where he's like slipping and he trips. That's like, oh, thanks, appreciate that bit of information. Yeah, exactly.
Jedi
tripped on a rock.
Yeah, Jedi Master trips on a rock. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like, oh, great, thank you. Thanks, Disney. Appreciate that background.
My favorite retcon was Rey like downloading information from Kylo.
Oh, I heard about that.
Somehow. I think that was an illusion.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
And then, of course, in the movie itself, the ability to literally transfer matter, when she remember when they transfer the location of the lightsaber?
I didn't watch the movie. I just know
what was that in?
Oh, it was in the movie. So maybe some people didn't watch it, and for good reason. So there's a part where literally, like, they're communicating like telepathically, essentially. And at one point, like one has something like behind their head, and they're able to literally transfer matter so that the lightsaber is in his hand, and then he's able to use it. And it's like, okay, that would be cool as a power. However, there's been no establishment of that at any point ever in this universe, and it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, okay. So that's how she made that knife disappear when she was getting ready to get shanked in the throne room scene.
She did. She was like, "Be gone."
Be gone. I'm Rey.
Be gone. I'm Rey. Don't you know?
I'm a Jedi from
Uchi,
you would think
that
like there would have been.
He has the dagger. And the dagger lines up with the Death Star wreckage to find.
Oh, that whole thing.
Oh, I heard about that.
The key. And it's like, okay, so the writer of this at one point saw Goonies and was like, oh, that's cool. Let's do something like the Goonies when, he has the little stone and it lines up the rocks. And he's like, I'm sure this is where the treasure is. And now let's do that, but have it make no sense because the timeline doesn't make any sense as to why a knife was created to somehow match up with this wreckage. But the knife was created prior to said wreckage.
Okay,
It's all junk. It's junk.
So
Disney Star Wars is junk.
It is.
Don't consider it.
I'm still trying to figure out how there were so many big chunks left of the Death Star.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I'm sure Palpatine Robot Chicken did a better version of how Palpatine survived. I'll go with Robot Chicken.
That's my canon.
That's my canon.
And relevance to the Halo series, since Matt was talking about it, shout out to Sour Cream Citizen. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, saw a great meme for the Halo show. A guy holding a sign saying, "Holy crap, our expectations were low, but you still managed to disappoint."
I believe that.
Good one.
Oh man. Anything else that you wanted to add there, Matt?
Not much. I guess there was a few other things, but I feel like I'm taking too much time away from it.
I think there's at least one thing that I think we can get you and Tina talking about, because Tina, when you were talking about the man connected with with Godzilla, the actor from Godzilla, I saw Matt's ears were perking up, and he was like, "Yes, like he was like, I know exactly what you're talking about." Where I was just sitting back, where it's like, I don't really know. So we'll bring that up when when we get to that when we get to Tina's part, but we'll go ahead and before moving to Laura, so prepare. Laura, prepare. Are you ready?
Got my notes.
Okay, cool. Before that, let's just see if I can highlight a few chats and send some love to the chat. By the way, thank you to the chat for being here. Again, smash the like, light up fire button. It really does mean a lot hanging out early on a Saturday. And also, just as far as a programming note, as it were, no live stream tonight, obviously, with the stream that we're having today, but also because tomorrow night, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, it's the 4th annual Wednesday Raven Awards. So please join us on the channel tomorrow for that. It'll be better than the Oscars because it's not the Oscars, and it'll be a lot shorter with no speeches. So there is that. All right, let's see. I only tried one back in the 90s, was by Dick Cavett on VHS. Alas, not applicable today. I don't know what that was a reference to. Rosie, thank you for understanding about not being able to watch all of the films. And again, shout out to Bruce as well. Soul Assassin had said to read Kenobi, the novel. Would you say that Kenobi's worth reading, people who've on the panel read it?
I don't know.
I have not, but it's always the EU novel that I get recommended.
Of course.
Okay. Gotcha. Definitely will have to.
It's not Disney, so it counts by default.
Can't be worse. That's where it's like, can't be worse then. All right. Let's see. Any other tag? Sorry if any comments were skipped, but as you all know, Chosen of Valhalla streams, the focus goes on the Chosen of Valhalla. There's Soul Assassin just shouting him out. He mentioned that there is a Fall of Reach animated film for free on YouTube. So for anyone who is interested in that, please make sure you go check that out. Gomer Kyle, thank you. This is his response to him saying that Tina and Steph are prettier than I am, which I put a sad face to because I was like, does this make me? Does that mean I'm ugly? Does that mean? But luckily, there's still some love there. You know, the Black Eyed Peas back in the day asked the question, "Where is the love in song form?" And there it is. Yeah, fun reference there. Force is so powerful, says Luca, and Rey Palpatine is indeed the bestest Jedi ever. Yes, that is the only logical explanation as to how they're able to literally transfer matter when that has not been established in their universe at any point. Though I'm sure it was in a novel somewhere that they've done, or a comic that they've written recently.
Don't ask questions. Just keep shoveling popcorn in and spend money.
That's where the actual phrase consumption and consuming comes into play when it comes to them. And then Gomer Kyle, as a member, says, "I'm just glad we got to find out that Qui-Gon Jinn wasn't the true teacher of Kenobi, but the strong whammon." Yes, indeed. All these important things. So anyway, Laura, what you been watching recently, or what do you want to talk about today?
Oh, hello. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me before I start talking.
Yes, we can. Loud and clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with my phone today. It's like in and out and dropping me in here. And I've seen like the Batman like 100 times. So. I saw it twice in the regular, and then I finally got to see it in IMAX. And one of the better IMAX, showings I've seen. Normally, it's just I don't know, like the sound's too loud or it's just too overwhelming. But this one went really smoothly, so that's nice.
Nice. So what? What about it has you kind of captivated to watch it as many times?
Yeah, I mean, I heard a lot of people had problem with the third act. I don't know. I really don't like long movies, but it's just the vibe that the movie
More
had.
like the last 30 minutes.
Oh, last 30? Oh, okay, yeah.
Essentially, when they arrest Riddler, it could have ended right there. Like the last scene with Batman, Riddler in the cell.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's
And
cool.
then the rest with his chat room gang and the flooding the city. That's a scene
Overkill.
out of nowhere.
Okay.
And it could, like I said, it could have ended right before that, and it would have been fine.
I don't. For me, it didn't bother me as much. I think that since the films come out and I've had more time to think, I think now I have a lot more, because at the time I saw it, when they revealed Riddler to be this like YouTube personality where it was like, hey guys, thanks for the support. Like when that whole thing happened, at first I was like, I don't know how to think about it. And now it's like the more I've thought about it, it's like, I really don't like that. I really think it does take away just a lot from the menacing era and aura that the character has prior to that. I mean, because it's a creepy character, and then all of a sudden that happens, you're like, oh, okay, so I don't have to care anything at all.
People say
Yeah, I guess it's like
that, but I just see
Yeah.
serial killer inspired,
Yeah.
because that's like listen to some true crime stuff on the side, and I was easily picking up on some like references. Obviously, like Zodiac was a big one, and I kind of noticed how he kind of looked like Jeffrey Dahmer at the end, and his gang. I don't know. I kind of thought they were the smiley face killers. If you don't know, smiley face killers, they're a dark web, like serial killer group apparently that attacks men and throws them over bridges and spray paints smiley faces.
oh my goodness.
Like this is a real group that exists?
No, well, they don't. They may or may not exist. Some people say they do, but anyway, I was kind of picking up on some.
What Zodiac vibes did you get?
just
I mean,
the
was there
whole-
anything specifically?
just the whole sending like clues and puzzles to police and
yeah.
Batman, especially in the form of.
Yeah, I think Zodiac sent
cards.
his stuff to the press a lot, though, didn't he?
Oh yeah, that too. But just that angle, that was where
Which,
it came.
yeah, and I always like, for me, I feel like that's like, but that's kind of like what the Riddler does. So it's like, I guess we could say, well, I don't know, I don't remember when the Riddler was created versus when the Zodiac Killer was around. So I guess we could say one.
Zodiac was 69,
Okay.
70s.
Yep.
Okay.
But essentially, well, I don't really get. I don't see it as a bat. Just like Gary says, I don't see it as a direct Batman adaptation.
Okay.
Just taking Batman elements to make its own thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
Just like Batman 89.
Yeah.
Tina,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
Wait, what about Tina?
Kind of a thing with criminals that they kind of like want to leave hints to be caught. That it's
okay.
common that they can, they want to confess what they're doing. Is that just the movie thing?
All this. I think in a way maybe some of them do because they think I'm smarter than the cops, but I don't think that they ordinarily set out to do that. A lot of them collect little pieces and things, and they'll keep those as trophies. Yeah, there was some guy that a bunch of liberals got.
Yeah, you never know how much stuff you're
right there. It depends, but I don't think so. I don't know that Dahmer was leaving clues. I definitely
no. I just said like the actor in the cell kind of looked like him.
Manson. I mean, the only clues they were leaving, they were trying to start a race war. That's the reason why they were writing things in blood on walls and doors. It kind of feels like a TV movie thing, and the more I hear about this, the more this movie is really kicking me off. But sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so say for Matt, I see in the private.
we were joking about that with the Batman.
At any point you need to say, all you need to do is just turn off mic and turn off the camera, and then just pop back in whenever.
All right, then I'll be back. So,
all right, awesome.
Go to the restroom. I'll be listening to.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect. So yeah, Laura. So I guess, sorry, what was the point you were gonna make? Laura?
Hello?
I forgot. Oh yeah, Tina and I were,
you forgot?
were joking with her being a crime scene investigator about
Okay, sorry.
About the Batman, I just want to
Yeah,
make sure
I
you
mean,
guys can hear me.
yeah,
Yes, we can. Yes.
yeah. I was joking. If somebody like we used to have people show up on crime scenes that had no business being there
Mm.
because they just wanted to, whatever. And we'd say, okay, you have to sign the crime scene log. Or hold on a minute, you're getting ready to stomp on some of my evidence with your big feet. Well, see, that's the way I would be with the Batman. I would be like, okay, I don't know who this winged freak is, but y'all need to get him out of here. He's messing up my scene. Well, he's the Batman. I
Yeah.
don't care what he is. He's got to get out of here. He just stepped on some of my evidence. Who is this idiot? Get him out of here.
So you would have been. I have no time for this.
I
Get
have no
out."
time for this. And the homicide be going, yeah, you don't want to cross Tina. Mr. Batman.
Mr. Sparkles.
Mr. Sparkles.
So if you had to give it a grade, Laura, what do you think the grade would be for the film?
A minus. This I
Okay.
knew, I knew the moment that I saw that the Riddler was a YouTuber. I was like, oh, that's gonna piss off some of my friends. I could see stuff now in movies and be like, oh, I know somebody who's not gonna like that. I did
Yeah.
think about Tina when he was like
Oh,
at the
no.
crime scene. I was like, oh, Tina's not gonna like that.
It's like, this is not going to end well.
This won't end well.
Yeah, but see, I like the villain to be, like unmasked. And when they took the, mask off Darth Vader, he wasn't like a menacing, scary guy. He was just like a normal middle-aged man,
Mhm.
It's that revealing of this huge, scary monster who's been committing all these, intricate crimes that nobody can catch.
Mhm.
It just turns out to be, he's an accountant, he's
Yep.
just a regular nerdy dude,
Which I think I would have been okay with it because though, it goes into that modern trend in Hollywood, right? Where it's like all about subversion of expectations, right? But to me, I think that could have actually worked had it not led to what it did. Like, had there been a purpose for it, right? With him revealing himself and turning himself in. But it didn't really go anywhere. And then they tried to have some like storyline of him being like this grand plan, but then, yeah, it didn't play as well as I think they thought it did, and it made me
Right.
sad.
I think the very good thing is that they didn't include that deleted scene with the Joker. Thank goodness,
Oh my
because
God.
I haven't seen that
that-
scene yet,
oh.
so
yeah, it's bad. I mean, it's just the physical look of the Joker that they did was just not good.
Yeah.
No.
And I like
Worse
the
than Leto.
actor.
Yeah,
Really worse than the Jared Leto version.
definitely.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
His
'Cause
face was
I-
like disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told Laura it looked like a decomposing corpse, and you really don't want to. Civilians shouldn't see decomposing corpses.
Mm.
No. And me did a side by side. They had a picture of Jack Nicholson's Joker, and they had that Joker, and people were saying, "Please take that off the screen. That's very disturbing."
Yeah, this is where it started. Kind of meme.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, don't know who thought.
Yeah,
that.
and the final scene with the Joker, I see why they had to put that in there. I mean, you got to set up the next movie and the next villain, but I don't know. She could have done more with less. Maybe you don't even see his face; you just hear him laughing. I didn't need to see any of that, but that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Because the actor that played him was actually an actor who was in The Green Knight, and so he is just he's in that film. He also plays kind of like a creepy guy. So like he plays the creep factor really well. So, but when I heard the voice, I was like, this doesn't really. It's not really sounding. It's not really sounding like Joker to me. And apparently with now the look, it's also. I got the image here that I'm gonna watch
Oh
in the back. I'm just gonna
no.
watch in the background so that way I can
Brace yourself.
get some context for it because I just it's
Gotta
a
have
long
context.
one too. It's about
Yeah.
5 minutes long.
It's very
Dang.
slow.
Wow.
It's got that Silence of the Lamb vibes, the Hannibal Lecter.
Oh,
I
that's
can
what they're doing. Okay.
It seemed
see,
like
I can
it to
see that
me.
already.
Even the putting the materials in the tray and then shoving it through, that was very Hannibal Lecter.
Oh man.
And that's not what's his name, right? Not Ezra Miller's. Everybody kept joking when the Eternals came out.
No, yeah. It's that. It's that actor. It's the ripoff.
Not Ezra Miller.
Yeah,
Not Ezra
that's what they call him. Even though I think this guy is an incredibly talented actor. It's just
Yeah, it's all about the roles you get. I mean, poor Jared Leto. He's gotten some stinker roles lately. The Silence of Odin is just.
oh my goodness.
He's gonna hit the floor in a minute. He'll go,
Sticky
oh
line.
no!
Oh my goodness.
My
What's going on
eyes.
with his hair?
Yeah, I only
That
saw the
hit me.
picture. I didn't look at the video because I was like, I don't need the video.
He's so creepy.
I'm just watching Odin's face.
The
Which I spend a lot of
The
time watching
whispers
Odin's face
is-
if I think about it.
Oh, the back of his head. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, they get you the full 360 on his deformities. Like, you think that's bad? Check out this angle. I think there's a close up too at some point.
Yeah, Mead had a really, really detailed picture where you could see how rotten his teeth were.
Mead is just laying down the hate on this movie lately.
Yeah, they have. I mean, I've heard the reasons for why they don't like it, and because I don't know if I'll
Hello?
ever see it. Hello,
I'm back.
hi.
Guess who's
I'm
back?
I'm currently watching this bonus scene from the Batman.
Oh, I might as well go watch
it's
it
all
too.
good. I've changed
While we're
my
talking about it.
opinion about many movies after good solid criticism. It's like, oh
Right.
yeah, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought.
I was hypnotized by Disney Star Wars originally. Just
I think
so
you
I
were.
know the feeling. But yeah, go on. Let's see.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, because I don't know how much time we're gonna
first-
spend on this, like as
first
far as a
result.
conversation topic. But
Oh, it's 5 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm getting towards the end of it, but I'm gonna be honest. I actually think I would love this scene if it were in a different movie.
Interesting.
It doesn't fit the tone of the movie. Like to me, the Batman is much more of a detective story, and I know that there was like some people comparing this in certain ways to like Seven in a certain way, but it doesn't go. I just don't think it ever went as dark as Seven. This, to me, if they went as dark as Seven, this would be perfect in it.
Yeah, I like that a lot of the violence was off screen.
Yeah.
They don't really show the rats in the dude's face or anything like that.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's just hard. Somebody was asking me, it's like, should I take my kids to this movie? I'm like, if you want them to have
No.
nightmares, go ahead.
Plus, they'll be bored.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I wasn't bored, but at the same time, the kid definitely would be. They're gonna be like, "Oh, Batman! I want to see him punch people. Like save the day." But
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah,
so-
well choreographed fight scenes. I love the way the
Oh,
fight
yeah.
scenes played out.
I do think he has a good laugh.
Didn't strike me as anything special.
Nothing special, but I'm like, yeah, it's a Joker laugh.
It must be hard to do Joker at this point. Jeez.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
his
many great
teeth.
examples.
How many Jokers we got now? Let's see, Tina. We got
Oh,
the
his
old
mouth.
school Batman Joker.
We got Cesar
Yes.
Romero, Jack Nicholson,
Oh my
Joaquin
Hamill.
goodness.
Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix,
As disturbed as I was
uh,
by that,
Heath Ledger.
Mhm.
I can't go with Jared Leto. I'm sorry that he freaks me out as an actor.
I guess you count the animated Jokers we've had. Mark
Oh,
Hamill.
we have Mark Hamill.
So many Jokers.
Oh my gosh.
And there's also been, even then, there's been lots of other animated Jokers, but he's always the first to come up.
Because he's Mark Hamill.
Right.
Yeah, I will say, as disturbed as I am by that clip, I actually like it because it's like good, kind of creepy. It just doesn't fit the movie, so I totally understand why they cut it out. I don't think that would have, fit in with the film as they were planning for it to be. So I think it was a good choice for them to cut it out. I understand why they cut it out, but I actually kind of like that. I don't know. I like that more grounded and I don't know, serial killer matched up a lot. So Laura, what say you?
Yeah, when they have deleted scenes, there's usually a reason, because of pace or it just doesn't fit into the movie that they had. But yeah, I think they're going to use that going forward. I don't know if that guy will stay as Joker, but it would be interesting.
Yeah. Again, I think I've seen him in other things. I do think he's a talented actor. And I think that's the kind of performance for me where it's like, I'd be interested in seeing like an actual, but to me, if they're, I think the plan was for them to do a trilogy with Robert Pattinson's Batman. If he's the main villain in the next one, I would love, I think if this one's more of like that detective style, if they could keep a detective, but also if they could do the next one almost as a horror film, that character would be perfect. If they could do a horror detective story, Batman, I think that actually would be perfect personally. But that's just my own thought.
I think the main problem I always had with The Dark Knight was I never liked what's the character's name? Is it Two-Face?
Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent. Yeah, I never liked the development of his character. I felt like it was
too
just
quick.
hurried.
It was too quick.
Rushed. Yeah. If they had just kept the Joker in that movie and not tried to get the second villain in there, I think it would have been a much better movie.
Because he becomes Two-Face very quickly, and then he dies. And so I think had it been he becomes Two-Face and then he quote dies, but then when they go down like to look at him like he's gone, I think that when you're like, okay, we're gonna get more of this, we'll get more development, so we can kind of forgive this because this is just leading to this one endpoint. But when they're like, no, he's gone too, it's like again, I understand that the mindset of Nolan as the writer is, but this was the Joker's plan all along, right? To take the White Knight of Gotham and destroy him, and it's his death that is the ultimate destruction, right? There's no redemption after that. So I think that was their justification for it, but it brings you back again to that question: what could they have done had Heath Ledger not tragically passed?
Right.
True.
But Laura, any other things that you watched? Obviously, unless there was other things too that you wanted to talk about and break down with the Batman, because obviously there's a lot to unpack with it.
No, there's been so much analysis. I don't know if I have anything in addition to add. It's for me, if a movie makes me feel something, I mean, I'm not typically, which is why I didn't do good as a paralegal. I'm far too emotional and not very analytical. If a movie makes me feel something, I'll go see it again and again and again. And it was just kind of that emo vibe, that dark gothic. And the scene that I love the most is when Alfred and him are meeting in kind of like their office tower, and the setting all around it, all the woodwork is just so beautiful and gothic, and that kind of a vibe is what kind of drew me to the movie. So I understand there are all kinds of movies and TV shows that I like that other people have flaws with, but it's like, hey, I enjoyed it. So
yeah, I still stand by my B+. You know, I still stand by, and I have said though I do want to see it again with this knowledge that I have now, but it's also like I kind of want to go in again with this cutscene, because also makes me wonder, are there other cutscenes? You know, what would those cutscenes have, you know, either added or detracted, or tonally, if that would have impacted? Like, I don't think there's going to be a Matt Reeves cut, because the film was already like close to 3 hours, and so I don't know what they could have possibly cut.
He
But
said they've cut like an hour.
he did. Oh wow,
An hour or
okay.
two. So okay, whatever.
If it's stuff like that,
Wow.
and it changes the tone to be more of a horror film, I would actually be down for that, to be honest. That's just my own take.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a director's cut of some kind. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, especially if there's an hour's worth and it's something similar.
Another
to
30 minutes.
I tell you what, that was the best Batmobile introduction you could ever have. I mean,
It was
people in
great.
my theater were freaking out.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
Same here. Yeah, same. Right. It was opening night, so especially, or it was the preview screening for investors and for AMC investors, and yeah, it was the same thing. People were like, yeah. But then also that scene, like the whole chase scene, was great too. Like, so there was so much with that, like the introduction of the Batmobile, the chase scene itself, which was a great mix of live action, a great mix of CG. And,
I wonder how much of that was practical.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely were things that were no question. I think it was the trucks.
That's a question.
I think the trucks were the one element that was CG, as far as like the big elements. But yeah, I mean, when they did that car flip, and Colin Farrell was inside. You know, obviously they must have had he was not inside an actual car flipping. He was inside of some, you know. But the fact that they did that, like, that was so cool. That was like, I was like, oh, I love when actors are actually in their stunts, and him like going through, obviously being put upside down and everything was great. It's awesome.
I love the music during the car scene. It's like all drums and stuff. Because I think Battlestar Galactica, the newer one, they did that during their when the Vipers are doing dogfights. It's just all drums in the background. It's very cool, like that.
Oh yeah,
the score was
absolutely.
fantastic. And sometimes
Score
they just
was-
use
yeah.
like the same three or four songs or melodies over and over again. They just changed them up a little bit, so that was cool.
Yeah. Well, it's a theme, and I like that there is a consistent theme throughout the film, because some composers can get really kind of get crazy, let's get nuts, and just go through and have like have great iconic scores and iconic this is for this character and this is for this character. But it is also nice when there is like a thread that you hear throughout a score. Like that to me is also a really good sign of a great score, and I think that this one has it for sure.
And I really hope I know it doesn't fit the actual story of Win, but I was kind of hoping they were setting up that little kid that he saved to be Robin, but I know that's not how in the comics the character comes about. But plus the age difference
that's kind of off the table at this point.
Yeah,
like what is at this point.
That's true.
Well, a good amount is, but
I don't think it'll be that kid. I think that, and I think it was because, to me, and this is kind of weird, but the actor came across as a green actor, so someone who probably didn't have a lot of credits. So I think the purpose of that kid was for us to get the first glimpse of him looking at this kid, seeing someone who is now in the same position that he is in, or like as far as like familial position that he is in, as having that orphan connection. And I think that it's that kid's inspiration that's going to lead to, in the future, I would not be surprised if a Robin comes around. It's just going to be someone different, but I think this is the spark that's going to lead to the introduction of a Robin, because of this connection that's been opened up because of this kid.
Yeah. Actually, that kind of goes back to what you hear Gary mention this a lot, but like, I'm glad this movie wasn't Batman Begins again, but at the same time, we kind of really want to see a fully established Batman in his prime, complete with all his tech, Batcave, Bat Family, a Robin, and a full roast gallery already established.
Mm-hmm.
And
That family.
you would think, you know, like Batgirl, various Robins, so forth, Nightwing,
Mm-hmm.
and just yeah, why not? We could have it as a movie or a show. It'd be the biggest thing ever. But
Mm-hmm.
it's all right. But
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with the two. I think there's 2 HBO Max series that they have contractually connected with this movie, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Mhm.
Anything else, Laura, that you want to talk about? Any other movies?
Call it Bat Family.
Bat Family.
going to need a bigger cave.
Oh, Batman and Robin. Again, another film you watch for the lulls.
Actually, I tried that without it. Was kind of bored. I'll have to watch it again for the lulls, but
there's
I actually
just so
watched
many-
Batman Forever for the first time, and I
actually-
thought I would
I still
hate that
love
one, but
movie.
actually had a lot of fun with it.
I love the cheesiness of that film. Like Batman and Robin's just bad. Batman Forever, it's not a good film, but it's like one of those, like, it's a quirky film where you're like, okay, I can experience this once. And then they took Batman and Robin and decided to run with
geez.
it like 1,000.
Yes.
Whoa, puppies, puppy. And that's why my favorite scene to this day is still the "oh no, it's boiling acid" in the very beginning. I love it. It's my favorite.
Gotta love the cheese.
The cheese.
I don't know what that was about. She just all of a sudden just started barking.
You know, sometimes dogs
Okay, I
they
guess we're good.
hear things that we can't hear.
Make
and
sure
so
we're not
they
having an
just-
earthquake or something.
Oh, I sure hope not. That would be.
Uh-oh.
Oh, something's happening.
Uh-oh.
Laura, are you still with us?
I'm thinking it might be Amazon. Let me see.
Okay.
It's okay. I got so much for protecting the house. Amazon.
I have those same dogs. I have those same conversations with my dogs too. I'm always like, it's okay. I got this.
that
No
I
need to
saw
freak
was
What was that?
okay. I think we're good.
Everything's safe.
Oh, my connection
Is it
is
safe?
just horrible.
Is it hidden? Is it safe?
I think so. Yeah, we have a package on the
Good.
porch, which is
Ah. Oh, boy. What's in the
the only
package? What's in the
other movie that I saw
box?
was
What's in the
that,
box?
hello.
What's in
Hello?
the box? Hello? Laura, the modern Major General. Says she has an 8 out of 10 connection, so that might be why. Oh,
Oh.
there we go. All right, so with that, then we'll go ahead and we'll get started with Tina. We're at the 2 hour, 4 minute mark. I think I can go for another, because obviously I had a late start. I think I can go for another 30 minutes. Bubba.
Okay.
A little Bubba is still sleeping, so that's a good thing. But basically, my wife was with him all day, and so I didn't want to. There we go. There's Laura back. I didn't want her to have to have him like complete, like only have to do it all the whole thing all the time. So I think probably about 30 minutes or so might be it.
I can do that.
Okay. All right. But Laura, you back? Laura. What's in the box, Laura? What's in the box?
I have some weird memories of that movie.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get Laura back at one point. So Tina, what
Yeah.
have you what you been watching?
Okay. I watched a couple of, I saw in the last show, I've been trying to kind of watch some movies that me and my mom liked or were favorites, but this time I didn't watch a lot of those, but because I was kind of all over the place. So I'm just going to start where I always do, and with my Letterbox 2 stars and up. I didn't see any total bombs or 1-star movies this time.
Okay.
No MST3K types, nothing like that. I gave this 2 stars, I think. I saw Hitchcock's first movie,
Oh.
The Pleasure Gardens.
Oh.
There's actually, yeah, there it is. I looked over the TV.
Yeah.
There's another movie he made in the early 20s, but they can't find it anymore. So it's considered lost. So they don't count that as his first. They go into The Pleasure Garden. It's not very good. It's about 2 showgirls. One becomes real famous. They have issues in their love lives. Of course they do. And there's only one scene in there, and I'm not going to give it away in case you just want to check this out because it's Hitchcock. There's one scene where you say, oh, that's Hitchcockian. What happened? Everything else in the movie, it's just not very good. It's well shot, but it's just, I was like, these characters, I really don't care. Mm-hmm. So that was the Pleasure Garden. And 1925, like I said, if you just want to see it to say, okay, here's where a master started.
Yeah, just see the first film.
That would be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Andrew's gone, but back during the World War II, there was a studio in England called Gainsborough Studios, and they pumped out a lot of these historic movies. And I watched 2 of them. One is The Man in Gray. James Mason seems to have been in all their productions. I'm like, James Mason, why weren't you out fighting the war? There was a war going on. He was also in Fanny by Gaslight. But they would pump out these movies and they called them women's movies. And most of them were these historical types, 18th, 19th century, beautiful costumes and everything. And James Mason, he was in I Saw Lolita. Oh my gosh. You all remember my review of Lolita. That was difficult. But he's in both Fanny by Gaslight and The Man in Gray. He is the title character in The Man in Gray. Stuart Granger is kind of the other man. James Mason has kind of one of those, we're rich, we're going to get married type of relationships, and then you can do what you want because he's doing what he wants. And his wife falls in love with Stuart Granger, and she has this best friend, and the best friend is poor, but she wants everything, and she's kind of grasping. And there were a couple of little twists in this story that I kind of saw coming, but then I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they went there. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they went there, especially the ending. So it's kind of interesting. And this is one of those you watch if there's nothing on and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to check out one of those Gainsborough Studio movies. Fanny by Gaslight, pretty much that same sort of thing. You have this heroine who has a nice life, and then everything just kind of hits the fan. And when she was a little girl, she thought her dad ran a pub. Not exactly. When she comes back from school, and it's pretty much the same people in all of these. Phyllis Calvert, she was in Man in Gray. James Mason, Stuart Granger said he hated this movie. He said he just thought his character was very flat. He didn't care for his character, and he just did it, because it was a job. But Fanny, they send her away to school because her parents are like, we don't want her to find out. As like this man comes to her 12th birthday party, I think it is. And I said, I'll bet you anything that's her real father. I was right. And that's not really a spoiler. You pretty much, you see him and the woman kind of eyeing each other. And you're like, yeah, I know what's going on here. So Fanny finds out that the man she thinks is her father actually runs a brothel. And he gets killed trying to throw James Mason out, because James Mason, he's pretty much playing the Man in Gray again. It's like, I'll kill you. I'll duel you. I'll push you in front of this coach that's coming. So now Fanny and her mother are broke, and her mother sends her off, and all of this is in the synopsis. This is not spoilers, but her mother sends her off to this estate, and that's where the man is. And he says, "Well, yes, Fanny, I'm your father, and your mother and I were going to get married, even though we were from different social statuses, and they sent me off. And when I came back, I found out your mother was expecting you, and they had married her to someone else so she could be reserved." Blah 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 blah. Same thing. So anyway, Fanny goes through a bunch of stuff, and then whatever, we have a happy ending. So
Yeah.
woman's movie. So
Laura, are you back with us? Oh, never mind.
So those were my 2 and 2.5 star movies. So then I went up a little bit more. We go to my 3. Young and Innocent is a Hitchcock movie I had never heard of. I was on a Hitchcock channel on YouTube, and they said, "Yeah, we're going to show this." So they showed it live, and you could jump in the chat if you wanted to. And it's just kind of this interesting little story when this movie is starting to become more Hitchcockian because now it's the 30s. So he has a little more experience under his belt. I gave it 3 stars because it's not a great movie, but you see those little bits of Hitchcock that we learned to love. But when the movie opens, we have this couple that's arguing about her adultery. It's a middle-aged couple. Then, like a scene or 2 later, we see a young man. He's on a beach, and he finds a body, and he recognizes who the body is, and it's the woman from the opening scene. Well, he's running to try to get help, but 2 young women see him, and they think he's murdered her and is running away from the crime. Now, the thing that kind of ties him in, even though he's saying what the witnesses don't know what they're talking about, is that the belt from his coat was wrapped around the victim's neck. And he can't explain how it got there. He keeps saying, "Well, my coat, I was at a pub in this little town nearby, and my coat was stolen." Okay, well, the police really aren't accepting that. So this young lady that you see in the picture, she's like the police commissioner's daughter, and she ends up befriending him. So they kind of go on the run, and pretty much she's an accessory. The only thing I didn't care about it was his attitude sometimes, because yes, we know he's innocent. Yes, we know Hitchcock is throwing these MacGuffins out at us. And yes, we know he's going to be cleared in the end. My problem with him was he kept saying, "Well, yes, I'm running from the police, but you know I'm innocent." And he would do really stupid stuff like you would see a cop coming, and he would pretty much be standing in the open like, "Yes, here I am. Come get me. I'm innocent anyway." And I'm like, yeah, stuff that it doesn't work that way. Just because you keep saying you're innocent doesn't mean that the police are necessarily going to believe you are. So it's an okay movie. I think the reveal of the murderer was very interesting. It was funny. So anyway, that was another Hitchcock movie.
Laura, are you back? Are you back with us? I think.
Hi, yeah, I just want to hear what Tina had been watching.
Okay. Well, I'm just getting started. Okay, The Passionate Friends. This was directed. Title. Yeah, it was. I wish the movie had been better. It's
Claude Rains.
Yeah. Oh, that was the only thing that I loved about the movie. It's directed by David Lean. Bridge on the River Kwai, Lawrence of Arabia. That's his wife. Ann Todd's very beautiful. She's that cool blonde, like Grace Kelly. I read not the book it's based on, but the synopsis of the book it's based on, and I'll just say the movie is a whole lot better than what the book sounds. It was very confusing because they kept doing little flashbacks, and then sometimes you got flashbacks within flashbacks. And it was really hard for my brain to figure out, okay, what year is this supposed to be? And when did this happen? Because I'm trying to track out a timeline. But Ann Todd has a relationship with a gentleman, and then she ends up marrying Claude Rains. Well, her previous lover comes back into the picture. Uh, he accidentally shows up, and it's an accident, at this Swiss resort. And the two of them go out for one day together, and she finds out, well, now he's married, got children. And Claude Rains sees them together and, of course, assumes that they've taken up their affair again. And we kind of go from there. And I have a feeling, I'm not going to give away the ending, but I have a feeling the ending was going to be different to what we end up getting. It was just, sometimes I guess studios might step in and say, yeah, we just came off a war. I don't know if people want to see this. So I have a feeling they might have made David Lean change the ending, but I'm not sure. When I read the synopsis of the novel, it pretty much ended the way I thought it was going to end, if that makes sense. So that was A Passionate Friends. It's a good looking movie, but other than that, that's another one of those, oh, nothing's on, I'll check out this David Lean movie.
I check out this Letterboxd site.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, the Letterboxd.
I've just never used this Letterboxd site.
Yeah, it's great. It's great because that way I can record my movies and whether I've seen them before.
Hey, Tina, why don't you share them how many movies you've seen? That's quite impressive.
Gosh, I
was looking at that earlier.
No.
I was like, oh my goodness.
And there's a whole bunch more.
It was like 500 and some.
That sounds about right.
That's 8 pages worth.
Yeah.
I'll do the math as you talk about the next one.
Well, thank you. I need to downgrade that review of Lincoln. I think I gave it 3.5 stars. It's 2.5 stars as of a day.
Of Lincoln?
Yeah, the more I thought about it, I was like, I like Daniel Day-Lewis, but I don't remember anything else about the movie. It was kind of forgettable, which is sad. I mean, because I love Lincoln as a person, and I don't know, and I love Daniel Day-Lewis, but anyway.
506.
Oh, I've seen much more than that in my life.
As far as the Letterboxd, though,
yeah,
506.
Yeah.
That
is impressive. But Eyes in the Night is, oh my gosh, I forgot his name. Edward. He was considered box office poison.
Edward Arnold.
I used to hear. Well, I listened to a lot of old radio shows. I would hear him on those, and in this movie, he plays blind. And he's a former cop. And so an old friend comes to him. She needs help with her stepdaughter who is getting in with a really bad guy. And the reason why the woman knows the guy is that she used to date him before she got married. Her husband is working on a government project that could help bring the war to a speedy end. So there's a lot of spy stuff in it. Donna Reed, she is so evil in this movie because everybody knows her from It's a Wonderful Life. And they're like, oh, that's Mary. She's so sweet. Oh, no, she's awful in this. She is just...
I could never see her being evil.
She wants her stepmother out of her life. She's like, oh, you don't want me to have him because you had him, and
ew.
She's just
Yes, you.
she is so nasty. But there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the house, and so Edward Arnold comes in to investigate, and he pretends to be the woman's, like, her uncle or something. He pretends to be drunk. He's got a really cool German Shepherd who kind of saved the day at one point. And I was like, oh, I love this dog. He's like Rin Tin Tin level. He's so good. And so it's just a fun, it's not that long. Fred Zimmerman, the director, I think he did High Noon.
Yeah, it's only 80 minutes.
Yeah, it's short and it goes by quick. So it's another one of those, you know, hey, it's raining outside. What can I find that's free on YouTube? Boom, there you go.
Yeah.
So let's see, Eyes in the Night. Okay. I don't know if Steph's still here or not. I told Steph I looked at
Yeah,
I looked at a Joan Crawford movie called Autumn Leaves. I had never seen it before. Go Below the Pleasure Garden.
Ooh, I saw Laura. I saw Laura.
Oh, I love that movie. That's gonna be that. I've got my two last ones, but it's an interesting movie. She's middle-aged, unmarried. Her dad kind of needed her, so the one man that she was seeing, they kind of broke up. When her father died, she's just kind of on her own, and so she runs a typing service. And she has like a little bungalow. It's in Los Angeles, and people bring, you know, stuff that they need typed, and so she takes care of it. And one of her clients gives her 2 tickets to a concert because he can't use them. And so she goes on her own, and then she ends up at a little diner to get a bite before she heads home. And Cliff Robertson kind of is like, well, the place is packed. Do you mind if I share your table? And she's kind of hesitant at first, but then she's like, yeah, sure. They start talking, really connect. The big problem is Cliff Robertson is much younger than her. And she keeps sending him away, but he keeps coming back because he's like, no, I really care about you. I don't care about our age differences. I really care about you. And so they end up getting married, but the problem is little things keep slipping out. Like she'll say, I thought you said you were from Madison, Wisconsin. And he'll like, oh no, I'm from Chicago. Where did you get Madison from?
Oh, he's gaslighting her.
And I'm like, oh God, Joan, what is happening? No, you meet this nice guy and he's a psychopath. Well, we kind of find out Lauren Green is his father. Lauren Green from the original Battlestar Galactica, and of course, Ben Cartwright from Bonanza. They find out he has terrible mental issues. And Joan Crawford, that was as devastating as when his former wife showed up at her door, played by Vera Miles. And she's like, he's been married before? And they're like, yes. And Joan is just trying her best to help him out. And there are a few little violent scenes in here, spousal abuse, but he doesn't know what he's doing. And she's got to decide, do I want to put him away somewhere or divorce him, or what am I going to do? Am I going to try to hang in there? So I've really enjoyed it. They said the critics really tore it up at the time, but Cliff Robertson enjoyed making the movie, and Joan Crawford said this was one of her personal favorite movies. And so I'm glad I looked at it. And again, this is another one of those. Oh, I want to see a Joan Crawford movie. You might want to look at this one. And it was free on YouTube. So there you go. What else did I? Young and Innocent, Passionate Friends, Eyes in the Night, Autumn Leaves, Trom Novelle.
Yeah, I was looking at this one. I was like, that's a fun name.
Trom Novelle means dream book. Trom Novelle is the basis for Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh.
Trom Novelle is the original Eyes Wide Shut.
I still can't get over that he wanted Steve Martin instead of Tom Cruise.
I can't either.
That's so crazy.
Take off your mask. What? Me?
We're shooting at these cans. These cans.
He hates these cans. Get away from the cans.
I would have been laughing
Still
so
my favorite
hard.
scenes.
But this movie is a made-for-TV movie, and it's in German with subtitles, but it's pretty much beat for beat, Eyes Wide Shut. The orgy scene is more like a wild masquerade party, and they kind of all go dancing into a room, and you see the women's naked behinds. But we don't see any orgies. So we're not getting a sense of, is the Illuminati involved, or is this some big conspiracy? And we don't have a Sidney Pollack character that tells this guy, you didn't see anything, you were never there, nothing happened to those people. It seems more like from this movie, I'm not sure what the novel is because I haven't been able to find it yet. And I think the last time I looked, it's very expensive on Amazon. But it seems more like they don't have any conspiracies in it. It's just this guy flips out because his wife tells him, hey, I fantasized about somebody. And now he's out on the street looking for whatever. Every woman he meets is a redhead like his wife. And I saw an Eyes Wide Shut analysis that said, if you notice, every woman that Tom Cruise meets is also a redhead, like Nicole Kidman. So it's like he's looking for his wife in each one of these women.
And she'll work for scale.
Yes. Yes. So it's beat for beat, Eyes Wide Shut, except there's no conspiracy theories or anything. The acting's not bad. I would just say watch this. If you've ever seen Eyes Wide Shut, which I've only seen one time, I would say just look at this to look for the comparisons. One Eyes Wide Shut analyst on YouTube also said, they were talking about this movie, and they said, in this movie, the doctor is a Jew, and this is like late 19th century, early 20th century Vienna. He gets jostled by a group of students who kind of stare him down. So it's like he feels kind of uncomfortable for a moment because it's like, do they know I'm a Jew? It's that sort of thing. Okay, in Eyes Wide Shut, remember these group of students are walking down the street and they jostle Tom Cruise, and then they start calling him gay and making gay comments. And this documentarian said that, of course, we've had the rumors about Mr. Cruise and his, sexuality, sexual orientation. So that kind of linked into that. So you've got the whole gay thing with Tom Cruise, and now you have maybe the Jewishness with the doctor in Traum Novel. But it's a curious movie. I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't know that I'd watch it again. I want to try to find the book. It's not at my local library. I want to read it. And I do plan on watching Eyes Wide Shut one more time.
Yeah.
Because I saw it opening weekend, and I only went to see it because everybody was like, this is Kubrick's final movie. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go see it. And at the end, the few people that were left in the audience were demanding refunds. And the manager was like, well, we don't give refunds in the movies over. Well, we didn't know it was going to be this bad until it was over. We kept thinking it would get better. And I was just like, okay, Tina, that was a bad experience. Just forget it. But it was funny because I kept telling my mom about it. And then when she saw it on cable, she was like, I think there's a whole lot more to this movie than we're seeing. Yeah, there's a whole lot more to Eyes Wide Shut than we saw.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that's been pointed out that I'm like, now I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was an interesting one. So,
Yeah.
Okay, those were my...
and Tina, my...
Your time's up.
Yeah, but I say Bubba woke up. So I call him Bubba Bear. So I have about 10 minutes because my wife has him. So I got about 10 minutes. So maybe if you want to cover one other film, one thing I
Yes.
thought about was
Yes.
one thing you can do to promote the channel, the new channel. Maybe you could be like,
Yes.
hey, if you want to see my
Yes.
top films, you're gonna
Yes.
have to subscribe to my channel. And
Yes.
then,
Well,
yeah.
of my 5-star movies and 3-star movies, the 3.5-star movies that I saw, the one closest to my heart is The Ghost and Mrs. Muir.
All right, yeah,
That's Gene
I'll pull that
Tierney,
up.
Rex Harrison, George Sanders. I think Natalie Wood was like 9 years old. She played Gene Tierney's daughter. But this is one that my grandmother and my mom loved so much. And when I was little, they would tell me this movie like it was a fairy tale. So when I finally got to see it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is everything they said. But Bernard Herrmann did the score. I think he said this was his favorite score. I can see why. Joseph Mankiewicz, Herman's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Mankiewicz, Oscar winner. I mean, this movie is so solid. There is nothing. I don't find a single imperfection in it. And
He's a solid director.
He's a solid director. Cleopatra is what ruined him. Because Cleopatra was a mess. I talked about that on the last Chosen. But Ghost and Mrs. Muir, that I looked at that Thursday night, and oh my gosh, I was just like, this is really getting to me again, and I adore it. And that and my other favorite Gene Tierney movie, Laura. Yay! There you go, Laura. Yay! And that's a murder mystery, and I love it too. That was Otto Preminger was the director. So those were my 2 5-star movies, and yes. Yes, I find nothing wrong with either one of them.
She looks just like me. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
And there's Vincent Price. He's so handsome in that. So, but anyway, that's Laura. So anyway, Nightmare Alley, Big Combo, Murder, My Sweet, The Big Sleep. Those were the other ones. And
if you want to hear about those,
yes,
you need to subscribe to Tina.
Subscribe to me and Stephanie's channel, and we're slowly getting it together. But we had so much fun last night during our test stream, and we'll do more test streams until we're ready.
And y'all can talk about again, and I'll put there's the Letterboxd account there if you want to read her, because not only does Tina does always such a great job breaking down the history, breaking down the films, the behind the scenes, but she also actually if you follow her, she has the diary, but then she also has her reviews like this right here. This is her review. So she is legit. So she is a legit film lover, film critic, film reviewer. And again, still all of this right here is Tina. So if you want to support her, I think that especially something that you and Steph could really bring to the channel is really going even further in depth, because obviously there's so much to be said about all of these films. And I think that especially the connections that you were able to make, with the family connection with the Ghost and Mrs. Muir, I think that there's a lot to be done there. So thank you for sharing that with us.
That's fine. Stephanie's been posting the link in there. So we're going to be doing some more test streams until we get this worked out. And we might do a podcast and drop it. So just, what is it? Everybody says, hit that bell for notifications. Yes. So
absolutely. And please let me know if y'all randomly do plans. That way I can jump in the chat, drop a like, and share it as well. So that way I can,
good deal.
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
Deal.
All right. So, we got about a few minutes, so I can go around the horn. So that way, anyone who has anything last, if they want to shout out anything or anything else that they want to say, y'all have the time to do so. So, Matt, thank you again for joining today, and had a lot of fun discussions. And one thing, maybe we'll have this conversation for the next one, or maybe once Tina starts to invite guests on, right? Tina and Steph start to invite guests on. Y'all can have that conversation about Godzilla, because he was like, "Oh, I really want to talk about it." Any last minute things you want to say, Matt?
Just want to say how very glad I got to be on here with y'all, and this was a lot of fun.
It's
I'd
always
love to
fun.
do
Yeah.
it again. As
Thank
far
you.
as Stuffed Up, I guess
Promote.
were we plugging stuff by chance?
Yeah, you
or-
can absolutely plug stuff.
Oh, all right. I'm Matt317. That's my screen name. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Minds, and also on the side, I stream on Twitch. I'm Matt317 on Twitch as well. So if you want to follow me on there, more than welcome to as well. And you always see me always a regular in a lot of the fellowships comment sections of the chats. I'll always may not see me, but occasionally I'm there. I'll say hi everybody, and just yeah, I'm always popping in here and there, and I'll be on Gary's member stream tomorrow as well.
Nice.
Until next time.
And I found your Twitch channel, so follow Matt on Twitch. I'm going to post that into the chat right there. So if you want to follow Matt317 on Twitch, boom, there it is.
Much appreciated. And it was
Absolutely.
it was a pleasure to finally talk with you too, Odin.
Yeah, it was great. I could talk to you. It's always great when whenever people from the chat, I get to actually like put a face and voice to the name and actually get to conversation with. So yeah, thank you for joining. And yeah, just had a lot of fun conversation. And I especially with everything going on with this stream and its delay and everything and this crunch towards the end. And I'm sure my wife would appreciate it as well. I will. And again, apologies to all of the chosen. We'll give y'all much further advance notice about the next chosen stream. I'm gonna try and get that in the books early, so that way everyone can know, and then that way, because I know Mr. Roy has been wanting to join, but his schedule hasn't been working out. So I'm gonna talk to the wife. Actually, I'll talk to the wife today about, hey, what would be a good Sunday, or rather, sorry, a good Saturday, like consistently for the month. So that way, it's not like, hey, when's Odin gonna come into the chosen chat and tell us when the thing is? But we actually know, oh, it's gonna always be the second Saturday or what. That way, there's a little bit more, and obviously we can work, we can work with it if there's like a really bad weekend, like if there's a holiday weekend, things like that. We can obviously chat. But I think I think a lot of y'all would appreciate the more consistency from me. So Matt, thank you again, man, for joining.
You're welcome. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say is that I very much appreciate that you're an open and devout Catholic content creator. That's one of the big draws that led me to your channel.
Well, thank you.
I thank you for that.
Well, thank you, man. I thank you. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm glad. I always, again, that's why I love the Asgardian community, because there's like all these different pockets. There's movie fans, there's film fans, there's people that are just tired of everything in modern Hollywood, and then now there's also there's this Catholic contingency that's growing as well. Because I know like Rosie G12 is in that group, Evan S is in that group, Luca I believe is also in that group too, and so it's awesome just to see all these different groups coming together and talking. It's one of the beautiful things about Asgard is that no matter where you are, where you come from, you have a home here in Asgard. So thank you.
Welcome.
We also got, of course, Empress of the Universe. Anything that you want to shout out?
No.
Well, I'm going to shout you out. Follow her letterbox. We posted it earlier. Follow the YouTube link, which has been posted by Tina. That's going to bring you to the first stream. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and support her over there. Thank you, Tina.
Support us.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's because it's singularly right now Tina's channel, but it is going to be the Tina and Steph show.
It's Tina and Steph show. Yes. So yeah, check out our test stream from last night. You'll just see a great stream that you'll hear us, and we had fun. And again, to everybody in the chat right now that showed up, thanks so much. You were great. You were a lot of support.
Absolutely. And yes, seriously, thank y'all very much. Y'all are always amazing in the chat. And again, thank you, Tina, because it's amazing. Oh no, we just lost Laura. We're at the very end. So I think she's been having some connection issues, but seriously, huge shout out to Tina, because Tina especially, not only is she on the panel, not only is she just doing all these amazing things, but she's also able to still communicate with people in the chat, still having conversation. So seriously, Tina, Empress of the Universe, always thankful for you for being one of the Valkyrie and for
you're
doing
welcome.
Thank you.
You're
All right,
welcome.
and we still have her. I think she's still here. We
I
got
swear.
the modern. Yes, I swear. We got the modern major general of the channel, Laura. Laura, anything you want to shout out?
I guess the next time we have a Chosen stream, I'm just gonna have to get like a hotel room somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Complete chaos. Every time I try to do a stream, everybody's like loses their mind. If you try to find Tina's channel though, use the link, because if you search YouTube for Tina BB, is that how you say her last name?
Yeah.
There's somebody named Tina Bieber, and she
Yes, Stephanie saw that last night, and I saw it's probably some Justin Bieber freak.
I was like, "What is this?"
That is it, Tina Bieber. Look at that.
I was like, "What is going on?"
Oh my God, Stephanie was very upset when she saw there was a Tina Bieber.
Oh my goodness! And if you search for it, 90% of the results are all Justin Bieber related content as well.
Oh, I knew it. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, if you just search the name, I'll pull it up. This is what you see. This is what you see. It's all Justin Bieber.
Oh, that
I had to scroll way down. I found it because of under your icon. So much Bieber.
It's like, oh my goodness, why are there so many Justin Bieber channels? This is ridiculous.
Too many Biebers.
Where's Tina? Tina, where are you?
What's going on?
Yeah,
but this is where y'all come in, because by y'all hitting subscribe on their channel and hitting the bell notification, you help it go up on the list, so that way when other people search, they don't have to do what I
right. And then when
oh my God.
And when we go back and forth when we do streams on Stephanie's channel, then we'll start getting her subs up too.
Yeah.
So
be a Tina believer. How do you say that?
Believer. Tina believer.
Tina believer. Oh my goodness.
122 subs. Pretty good, Tina. Good job.
Boom.
Yeah, I think it was 102. So yeah, thank you all.
There you go. Absolutely. So thank you, and Laura, thank you again for joining and I think pushing through the technical issues. And
yeah, it does not work good on my iPhone. It's working fine on my iPad. So,
okay.
It just drains the battery in my iPhone. Oop. Mm-hmm. Oh, DoorDash is here. Gotta go.
Okay. Perfect time.
Love you guys. See you later.
All right. Have a good one, Laura.
Bye.
So again, thank you all very much for being here today. It really does mean a lot. I'm going to go ahead and hit that March Patreon subscribe star locals shout out video. So again, shout out to Tina, Matt, Laura, and of course, as well, Rosette Allen was in the chat earlier. So shout out to her, praying for her and for her family. And anyway, thank you all. Asgardian community, y'all are always amazing. Stephanie B, shout out to you as well. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Thank you for modding as well. My other Valkyrie, the general of my Valkyries. You guys are all amazing, beautiful people. Have a wonderful rest of y'all's day, everybody. And as always, God bless. And now for a huge shout out to all of my March Patreon Subscribe Star and Locals members. Starting off first with my Patreon members, animation commentator Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Brian P., Christopher Bowman, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father. Father Damian Cook, Fuzz Aldrin, Garrett Searles, Hannibal Grimm, Harold Francis, Hymir Ari Hymason, Inflamed Wood, Jacob Juice, Jeff Toon, Joe Horn, Jonathan Carney, Gomer Kyle 79, Laura, The Modern Major General Story, Mike Jackson, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mondo Spieler, Mr. Peabody, On to June, Orange Chat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Rosetta Allen, Stan Andrian, Miss Martin Muses, Theodore Bendon, Tina Bojan, and of course Tina B, the Empress of the Universe. Also, a shout out to my Subscribe Star members, starting off with Trent Johnson, Matt 317, UAB Mad Dog, Mike Jackson, Storm Tracker, The R, Nosferatu Gatsu, Stan 4, John B, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., Dean Heiss / the new number 2, J-Rod the Beer Guru, and ZK Man. And a final shout out to my locals members, Kara Tharp, UAB Mad Dog, Mike Jackson, and Robert Barnes. Thank you all so very much for being supporters, monthly supporters of the channel. And if you want your name shouted out at the end of every single live stream and every single video, please check out the pinned, the very top link in the video description. It is noted as the Willow link there. It'll bring you to basically a link tree of all the different places that you can support on Patreon, Subscribestar, or on Locals. And also there are other tiers that you can get access to as well, including an Army of Asgard level where you get not only the shout out, but you also get access to a giveaways channel that I have on my Discord, where you get offers of giveaways, or rather you get access to giveaways of 4K titles, Blu-rays, digital codes, all kinds of stuff, steelbooks. It's just, I'm giving away stuff all the time over there, and it's a lot of fun as well. So go check that out if you're interested. There's also the Keeper of the Bifrost level, which is the higher level up than that, and you get everything from the previous tiers. Plus, you get access to a once or twice a month podcast that I do with John the Flick Pick Flickinger, where you get to ask us Q&A, right? You get to ask us questions, any question that you like, movie or non-movie related. We will answer them once, maybe twice a month. We're trying to work on a second opportunity for us to have a show, but right now it's at least once a month. So again, you get access with that with the Keep of the Bifrost level. And then there is the Chosen of Valhalla level, the very premium level, where you get access to all of those things. Plus, you get to be featured on the channel once a month with me and the other Chosen members, where we talk about movies and stuff. Anything really that the Chosen want to talk about. And it's always a very fun discussion. We usually have about 3.5 hour discussion. So again, that's what you get access to at the Chosen of Valhalla level. Also, you get a free t-shirt during your first month. All you need to do is just let me know what t-shirt you want from the store, and also their size, location, etc. And I send those out anywhere in the world. Anyway, you guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Thank you all so very much again for your love and for your support. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, God bless.